Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Aegis Champions League. This is the final week, and I'm Shadox, going to be your host today, and I'm joined by General Schwartz here. How are you doing?
Excellent. How are you?
Pretty good. Excited to watch some Runeterra again.
Absolutely.
Today, I believe, is going to be very important. We have two groups, where one group, actually, group 2 is the one that's pretty close in standings. So it's going to be interesting to follow along with them and see how everything goes.
Yeah, and our looking at the standings, we have two teams that are tied at 5-5. So this match, these matches this week mean a lot.
Yeah, and the first one we're going to be following is going to be Aegis Darkens versus Victor's Glorious Evolution. Also, both teams are filled with some pretty amazing players. So, like you said, it's all going to come down to, it's pretty much down to this week to see who's making it out.
It's do or die. No second chances this week. Really need to pick up every match that they can.
We're just waiting to find out who we're going to be following in the match. Yeah, so just looking at the rosters here, for Aatrox Darken, we have Arachnobat, Rich Game Buddy, and Zmax. On the other side, we got Never Walk Alone, Salty Simon, and Robomaster. How do you feel about the rosters of each of these?
Obviously, Victor's Glorious Evolution, very well-known players, Never Walk Alone, Salty Simon, and Robomaster, all, going far in previous seasonals, very strong players. And and we can say the same about Aatrox Darken with Arachnobat, very strong player, often ladder, fighting for that number one spot on the ladder throughout multiple seasons. Not as familiar with Zmax or Rich Game Buddy, but obviously playing very well, keeping competitive within this group of death.
Yeah.
So I think that there will be some excellent play today.
I agree. This group is really intense. Like it's so close compared to Group 1. Like, not saying Group 1 isn't an intense group, but the discrepancy between Azir's Ascended and like Maokai Sapling is quite different. Like Azir's Ascended, I want to say is probably like there's probably no way for them to be eliminated. Whereas the other three teams do need to compete still for a spot.
Yeah, Azir's Ascended is at 8-2. I think even if they lost every single match this week, they're pretty much cruising in to playoffs.
Yeah. And back to what you were saying about the rosters. Arachnobat is a name that I'm very familiar with. Like you said, always fighting on ladder for rank 1. I haven't played LoR, like I took a break from LoR for a while, but I did come back and play quite a bit and grinded back up to Masters, and I would always see his name on the front page. So it's nice to see that they're in the league here fighting for a spot.
Has to be on top of every leaderboard, not settling for just on top of one.
And I guess to bring attention to the other two teams, we got Lee Sin's Dragons with Y Rebellion, Goofy, and Falling to Void. And then we've got Norris Tea Drinkers with Torutaka, Lawa, and AJ the Pro. They're also very, very strong teams with very strong players.
Yeah, these are like recognizable names to anybody that's been in the LoR scene for any period of time. And I think they're known for a reason. They put up consistent performance and they, make good plays. So it's always interesting. It's very fun to me to watch their lines and see like, oh, well, I would have done this. And then to see the master plan fall into place, seeing those puzzle pieces come together.
Like we're going to be following Robomaster versus Rich Game Buddy for our first set of the night. take a look at the decks they have. Okay, so the first deck we got for Rich Game Buddy is Draven Freljord. So Nox Freljord seems to be pretty much a standard Overwhelm Nox Freljord deck. We got the usual Bone Club, we got the Battle Furies, we got all the Overwhelm guys, Omen Hawk and No Dog still being a menace as usual, I see. How do you feel about this deck?
It's interesting. There have been a couple iterations on this. You know, some people opting to include Sejuani as an additional one threat, being able to move blockers around a little bit. Some opting for more or fewer copies of Bone Club. It's been interesting too, seeing with the opponents with how many explorers they bring. You know, if Bone Club ends up being a liability, or if your opponent doesn't have a way to interact with it, if it's just a game closer.
Yeah, I agree. Explorers was one of the most interesting additions to Legends of Runeterra, I think, and it was something that I think was needed because it gave every region some sort of interaction with landmarks. It gave something for equipment. It gave some healing. So it, like you said, I think it is going to come down to how much interaction and hate they have for the Bone Club or the Overwhelm, aside from just the usual cards that they run. And I do like in this deck the 3x Whirling Death. It's nice. It's a nice little interaction, whereas, you know, most standard go face decks just focus on your own cards, right? Whereas Whirling Death is kind of, you know, a dual interactable card, clear up an Overwhelm blocker and then get extra damage in.
It's very flexible. I think that it's a great addition. You know, does everything that you want. Can help, you know, help level Draven, can push extra damage, or, you know, help prevent a kill spell or a fight spell onto one of your units. I love it in this deck.
Moving on to the next list. When server error is running an unknown error.
Alrighty.
What about this list?
You know, I think it was really strong through those through the first 2/3 of it, but really stumbles at that last third.
Yeah.
So let's see. So
we'll see how that one does.
Yeah.
Akshan Lee Sin, I hear you're a fan of this one.
This is my jam. I love an Akshan. I love a combo deck. I also just love the design of Akshan. Probably one of my favorite champion designs in the game. Just does so much. You know, the little mini quest of advancing the Warlord's Horde is great. You know, and really rewards playing ahead, being able to sequence and time out your horde to pop, you know, right on the turn to limit interaction windows for your opponent. Similar to the other deck, we have a couple swinging glaives here. You know, being able to act as a target itself when we equip it, hopefully to Akshan. Creating spells to further advance and level up Lee Sin, and can also make Akshan really difficult to remove. You get tough, you get spell shield, you get fearsome. You know, it can do a lot of work. One of the things that's interesting to me is that Rich Game Buddy has decided to include 2 armed acquisitioners, so creating 2 more spells, and having a couple Vicuran Vagabonds. I really like having Vicuran Vagabond in the deck. Gives you kind of another out to get the Warlord's Horde going, because having access to that in-stage spell is really strong in this deck. The discounts, or being able to give spell shield to limit interaction. Running a couple grappling hooks main deck. That's you know, interaction is good. You know, can double up on strikes. And a Memories Cloak. Okay, so we've gone into, you know, a little bit less, a little bit fewer on the buffs, and, you know, a little bit more interaction for the enemy's board and protecting our units, which I like. You know, there's a lot of ways to build this deck and play it out. So it'll be interesting to see, you if Rich King Buddy ends up with a hand gunked up full of cards that he can't play because they're all reactive, or if those denies and grappling hooks show up at just the right time.
Yeah, I agree. And like you said, we'll have to see how this goes. I do like the inclusion of the grappling hooks. It really works well, especially with the swinging glaive, just generating more lucky finds plus progressing the horde. And to the other deck that we didn't get to see, the Morgana Udyr. This was a deck that I think was gaining popularity, if I remember correctly, towards the end of PvP. So it's nice to see it having a chance to shine here, especially with that new, I guess it's not new anymore, but the Bladebound Berserker working with all the stance swaps is really neat to see. It also works with Magical Fettering. I believe it works with Golden Aegis as well. I'm pretty sure it's just any slow targets another.
Yeah, any slow single target spell for one of your units. It's I love this card. Awesome design. I really feel like this deck went from meme to dream. With some of the rotations. Magical Fettering can just be such a difficult thing to deal with. Can really take away your opponent's ability to meaningfully interact with you on an open swing. 4 mana is a steep price to pay. Not to mention that it's locking you out at focus speed.
Yeah, it's quite a lot. And then Udyr and Morgana themselves are just big threats that if they're left unchecked, they just get out of control.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think we're going to take a look at Robomaster's decks now. So on Robomaster's side, first deck we see is Akshan Varus. So I want to say it's a similar vein to Akshan Lee Sin. They both kind of have their little combo turns where they just pump up a giant unit and swing with it. Varus can get out of hand really quickly once he's leveled up with his bow. And like similar to Lee Sin, Lee Sin's a bit more, I don't know. Would you say Lee Sin's more of a reliable finisher, or Varus would be? It's hard.
I think it's timing windows. I think that Lee Sin provides a little bit more board control and is looking for, you can look to have a little bit of a grindier game, whereas Varus is, looking almost more for like a chip in and then get a one-turn kill. Not that you can't do the same thing with Lee Sin, but I think just with the way the deck functions, since Varus is reliant on multiple pumps, you're spending a lot more of your card advantage for that single return.
Yep, and then that's where the lucky finds are really gonna come into play, I think. Give them the buffs, give them the pumps on the bow. The big thing I remember with Varus is if you do get the pumped up bow, but it's not enough to finish off your opponent, it just resets back down, so you have to do it all over again. But usually the deck is built that you can easily build it back up again.
Right. One thing that I do think that we'll obviously have to see how the deck plays out, but I think that losing the improvised units can make it a lot more difficult having all of these spells that are dependent on finding a weapon. Having really just 6 weapons in the deck, can be difficult to find. You're not always going to run across them, and you may not cast enough spells to draw your Varus early enough. But we'll have to see how it actually shakes out.
Next up, we got another Overwhelm. This one, like you mentioned before, is including 1 copy of Sejuani. Couple differences actually. So this one also runs 1 Might and a Pirouette, compared to the other list that didn't have them. Still got the Battle Furies. It's on 1 Bone Club. Yeah, so it's mostly just like a couple of number tweaks plus the Might, Pirouette, and Sejuani added.
I think it'll be interesting to see if those if we get to see these decks playing against each other, if we see those whirling decks coming into play. Interestingly, neither of them opting to run any of the any copies of 3 Sisters, so there will be no freezes, only beatings.
Yeah, it's just gonna who can beat who down the fastest, and Whirling Death seems like it's gonna be going to be a really key card here. Sejuani also might wing it a bit into Robomaster's favor here.
Yeah, having that targeted freeze and vulnerable could really hit a key unit. But
yeah, especially if Sejuani somehow gets, not somehow, but if it does get leveled, you've got like Pirouette to kind of play it before the attack, or I believe the red barbed razor. I think the Icar triggers beginning of turn, I believe, right?
I believe you're correct at the start of the turn, so that would proc Sejuani freeze.
So a couple of, I guess, cute things you can do there with the one Sejuani. Finally, we got another Morgana Udyr. This one's sort of similar, but I see a Darkened Spear included, which I like a lot. But otherwise, not sure what else has changed here.
There's a couple copies of Troll Chant. It's a couple copies of Gentleman's Duel. Let's see if I.
Oh no one copy of Aegis. So I think that's the big difference I'm noticing here is Spear versus Aegis, and they're both kind of impactful cards, right? Because Spear could just turn into Anaka, and then Aegis can do Aegis things. So
it'll be interesting. I think basically what we're seeing here is Darkened Spear is looking for a later game, versus Aegis, which is looking to turn around and just kill you.
Yeah, I agree. And Spear also works really well with Morgana. I believe it's any targeting, right? Like either your opponent or your own units, as long as you've targeted 10 times, they'll level up. So Spear can also be reused, over and over for that stuff. And yeah, we can go into some predictions. Who do you think is gonna come out on top?
I think that I'm liking the Darken here.
Okay.
I do. It will be interesting to see if Lee Sin gets through, but I'm a really big fan of the deck in this meta. I think it's very powerful, has a lot of flexibility in how you play the deck, and can be challenging for opponents to close out with all of your disruption. You throw your big Varus bow and it just gets put to sleep, or gets bounced and your bow's dead, but that's, so I'm going for the Darken.
I'm gonna have to say I'm going for the opposite, and I think Glorious Evolution is gonna take it on top. Just by looking at Robomaster's deck, I really like the little changes. He's like, even though the lineups are similar, I like the little changes in text that he has. I like the one Sejuani. I like the Darkened Spear over the Aegis. So I think overall they'll probably just take it.
Okay. I mean, there's little edges, little edges in deck building. We'll have to see if it works out for them.
Let's get started here and see. What do you think the bans are going to be?
So looking from Robomaster's side towards Rich Game Buddy, I think that I'm banning the Lee Sin. Maybe I'm putting too much respect on it, but I think that especially with the Eye of the Dragon, I think that it really just does a lot against what all three of Robomaster's decks want to do.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I think Lee's going to be a bit annoying, especially with the only real interaction like Udyr or the Draven deck has. Like Draven would just be like Whirling Death, Pirouette, and then Udyr is, I believe it's just like Troll Chance and single combats and Gentleman Duels. But most of those like all just kind of get stopped by Deny and stuff, right? So it's not even that reliable. So I can also see Lee Sin being banned, and I guess from the other side I could see the Auction Virus getting banned as well, and then we're just gonna have like a mirror match.
Yeah, I agree. There's no freezes. There's not really, like, there's the Whirling Death, but what are either of these decks gonna do if there's a 20 power Varus coming across?
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think if there were more, Frostbites or Three Sisters or any freezes, then the bans might change. But currently, as it stands, I think both Auction decks are just going to be banned here.
Yeah.
But I don't think So if you do ban the auction decks, what are you throwing out first?
So both,
Are you one of those that just flips a coin, or do you actually?
I think that I like to play percentages. And this is what I was going to say. I think that I would be more comfortable playing out the Morgana Udyr deck first, because I think that it's a little bit more even into both. Well, obviously the mirror, but and seeing a little bit of a clunky hand for Rich Game Buddy here.
Yeah.
Oof.
At least has a 2-cost, 3-cost. He's got a pretty good curve.
I mean, and honestly, I like Volpine Wanderer here, potentially into a float, and got the Bloodbound Berserker ready to come down.
Still nothing from Rich Game Buddy.
Oh, and the Darkened Spear draw, incredible. This is gonna start getting a little spooky.
Better late than never, I guess.
Yeah, I think.
Do we set up the Berserker here? Or is that?
I think the problem is if your opponent. I mean, I guess there's not really any interaction available at the moment.
Yeah.
But if there's not a good way for us to protect it. I'm almost considering Bjerg, and just to be mana efficient, and then putting down Volpine Wanderer next turn to have 2 units available to the target, or maybe even Morgana next turn to stop a swing. It's just a very awkward hand, honestly.
I agree. It's a bit awkward. We do see that one Golden Aegis in the hand. So if somehow you can fight back and get the board back, you could just rally them down. But we see Berserker coming down on the other side, and there's already a stance swap in hand. So
yeah,
a bit rough.
Yeah. Honestly,
Oh, okay. For the Broadwing.
I imagine that we'll see
yeah, I like. Okay, there's the
magical fettering. That makes
fettering.
Yeah, double fettering. I imagine we'll see Gentleman Duel coming out on on the Broadwing. I wonder. I guess it just makes it too big. If there's another unit in hand.
Yeah. I guess Udyr will survive through an Inner Beast, so.
And it'll still kill.
Yeah, it'll still kill it, so there's no reason to play it there. And you do get the 0-cost stance swap, but you are stuck with the suppression in hand still.
Okay, opting for Bear Stance.
Yeah, Bear Stance, just pump up these two.
That is a big Berserker.
It's only going to get bigger.
Honestly, I think that removing the Broadwing there was really important to avoid kind of the combo, letting it just rejuvenate between turns. Having an 8 health challenger unit is really rough to deal with.
Yeah, I agree. And here we go for the regen on the Udyr.
Ooh.
Single combat was drawn. Robomasters.
And this is so. Unfortunately, this is going to get punished.
6 mana.
I mean,
I'll bet the 4/6 right into the.
Yeah, because no matter can just trade cleanly. Oh, opting for the 5/5. Okay. Maybe trying to bait out a buff spell, but I think it's just going to take an even trade.
I think he might be just playing around the Sky Splitter. Because if they did Sky Splitter, then your Inner Beast will be able to still challenge your Udyr. Looking at Rich Game Buddy's hand, it's back to being really clunky.
Yeah. I think the good thing is there's a Morgana in hand.
Yep.
and could play. There's a second Morgana in hand. I don't like playing out this unit here. Maybe just trying to save a little bit of health. But I like the idea of having the Morgana and saving enough mana to play to play her champion spell to be able to stun a large unit that comes down.
Yeah.
Nice. Especially this Udyr. But
this is the third stance, right? That will level.
It should be because the previous was doubled.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Morgana.
I mean, I think Vulpine Wanderer just has to go under the bus, right?
I think so. The question is, do you like use Morgana at all, like with Inner Beast, or you just kind of hold her back, right?
I think you hold her back so that you can double up your targets with Blightbound Berserker next turn and really make her dangerous. If Morgana can get big enough to threaten a lot of lifesteal, I think that is how Rich Game Buddy climbs back into this game.
Yeah, I can see that. Even though we've been saying his hand's a bit clunky, he actually has a pretty good hand if this Berserker sticks and starts doubling up a lot of like stance swaps and spells.
Mm-hmm.
And even the feathering was drawn there, so that can also really make it a big tier.
And Morgana can level very quickly with this Bladebound Berserker on the board. I will say and there's no interaction really in the hand of Robomaster anymore. There's no strike spells currently. There's just the Morgana to stop the swing.
Yeah. I mean,
what would actually be devastating is for Bladebound Berserker to come down and play Fettering and prevent the Udyr from being just taxing that Udyr a little bit more.
Yeah, that would be rough. Over on Robomaster's side, we drew a Vulpine Wanderer. Probably not what you want to see in this position.
No, it's really just hurting for interaction. I mean, having it early was great, but it would be nice to have something different right about now.
Yeah.
Now, if you're Rich Game Buddy, are you playing out the Fettering now? Or are you going to play the stance first? Well, that answers the question.
I like the Fettering now because, you know, they have the shackles in hand that's preventing the Udyr from attacking or blocking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you just tax them even more and even more. Like, I wouldn't even be upset if they played another Fettering again.
I actually really like that. Just stack it even more. One thought I have is I don't think we want this Vulpine Wanderer to die. I think we want that Vulpine Wanderer to stay on the board because we don't want Robomaster to have access to Anaka.
Yeah, I agree. We do have the Morgana champion spell that will help with doing that.
Mm-hmm. Now, I actually really like the idea you had with playing the second Fettering and just taxing that hand, because that would pump it up to 8 to where they can't even play it out this turn.
Yep.
I mean,
you're safe to do it too, right? Because they're currently under suppression.
Mm-hmm. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not unhappy with this either, right? You just make your guys even bigger.
Yeah, just being able to make all the other swings just tenable. And you know that there's no black shields native to the deck. So, they're playing out their own Morgana starting out. So Udyr is not going to be able to... Well, Udyr will be able to swing, but...
Levels, okay.
Let's see, 4...
And next turn. Robomaster will have 10 mana next turn. They can play out both the curses. Just full swing?
Does this swing make sense? I mean, I guess so. Free damage.
Yeah. I like seeing Iron in these matchups where it's, you know, board battles.
Mm-hmm.
Keep combat trick there.
With no blockers, I mean...
They can't, right? Because of the shackles.
Right. But It's a good time to have the interaction, and there's nothing that Robomaster has in hand to be able to stop this. And they're gonna be living on a prayer.
Yeah, these shackles they really need to get out of the hand.
Mm-hmm.
Which means eating up a whole turn, probably.
Most likely. Yeah, just have to get the kill on the unit here. I think next spending on the shackles this turn and then opening with fettering next turn. I mean, even having the Aegis to swing the start of next turn is great too.
Yeah, yeah. So if they do this, they're gonna be living at 2. They will have 5 mana left, so they could play one of the shackles.
Oh, but if they, I mean, it is dangerous. There is can be killed with the stance spell.
Oh, that's true.
So there are some interesting lines, although there's only one available currently.
Okay, so 20-2. The comeback is real.
I mean, it's definitely possible. I think you have to maybe you start with fettering this turn. Like, go ahead and play fettering this turn so that your units are healthy on open, and you can play both shackles. And yep, there it is.
Yep.
While your opponent is low on mana, obviously doesn't have a strike spell where it would have come out.
Yeah. This also prevents the shackles on their side being played.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how good would an open be? You could actually play fettering and then stance swap, and then just play elbow shackles next turn.
Okay, opting for regeneration. I think that's also reasonable, making sure that your units are healthy enough to actually effectively swing.
I still like going fettering first, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so they can't do this.
Because now your open swing is terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, because even if you drag Udyr away, you're just creating free stances for them.
Yeah, I mean, Udyr is going to be stunned by Morgana on the attack.
True.
It's just the other, like...
But you could have had Morgana.
Morgana. Yeah. Let's see. So we do it now, and then what?
Maybe just looking to have the Morgana leveled on open. Unsure of progress on this Morgana.
Oh no, she's already leveled.
She's already leveled. Yep, that's right.
Let's see. We don't have enough to play both shackles out plus an Aegis.
But I think you have to play out both shackles because otherwise you're gonna die.
For sure, yeah, that for sure is happening.
Oh, and so there's the Udyr spell. You got the spirits.
Yeah. Okay.
Spirits Unleashed and Stands in Hand, but this Morgana's gonna lifesteal a little up. You know, remember when Aegis was 4 mana?
Yeah.
Imagine how gross this turn would be.
The good old days. Did we just grab disable keywords here? Yeah, looks like it.
I mean, I think on the side of Rich Game Buddy, you'd have to just play out as many units as you can.
Yeah, even so, I don't think you can get past all this. Because on the open, they're just going to disable lifesteal. They're going to shackle actually, they don't even need to disable lifesteal, right? Because they're going to shackle Morgana.
Yep. Shackle Morgana. Yeah, and they're just going to open, so there's almost no, like...
What did you get? Ooh, another Morgana. And no interaction from Rich Game Buddy. I feel like this is just it.
I mean, yeah, because Morgana's going to get shackled. You can block the Udyr cleanly with... but it's going to get hit with the Morgana spell and just get bumped out of the way. I don't think there's any way. Nope, just taking it.
Accepted defeat.
Very close game. Really thought that based on those opening hands that this was not going to be that close. Hitting the Udyr, though, I think is a really, like, finding your champions, you know, obviously very good for your decks.
Yeah, champs are pretty good, I heard.
Mm-hmm. So I guess next we'll be seeing the Sejuani Draven from Robomaster. I think that Rich Game Buddy, if he chooses to play Morgana Udyr again, is just going to have to get big fast and just say, hey, this is a 10 health unit. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, you got to... Ooh, okay. This
Doggo in the opening hand. Oh, bird dog, let's go.
All we need is Morgana to complete it.
Oh, Morgana's going to come out after this swing.
Oh.
So
the Giga buffed.
This is going to be Morganza. Yep. That's not very good. You know what? I take that one back.
No. It was perfect.
And here it comes. Gentleman's Duel. Next draw. Always next draw. Just gotta believe.
She'll come on 5 when just on time.
A Morgana is never early nor late. Do you take Blunder or do you take the health? I kind of like Blunder.
I like Blunder.
Oh, the equipment destruction. That makes sense with the having the Bone Club. Now,
the only thing is, Robomaster's on 1, right? Compared to them on 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's interesting going for that. I still like the Blunder, but seeing as we know it's in Robomaster's hand, looks like it'll pay off.
Mm-hmm.
So we got an interesting dilemma here. Do you single combat plus duel and waste everything? Oh, you can't even do that. Never mind.
No.
Here we go.
Oh, brutal. 5 for 2 is always nice.
Yep. I mean, on Robomaster's side, he's got 2.
Oh, that is a big boy. Damn. Why is he so big?
Yeah.
Just an unreasonably large Explorer. I think I like on this turn the Volpine, like playing out the Explorer and the Volpine.
You don't like Udyr here, and then you could like possibly single Udyr or something.
Oh, that's also an option. I just liked, having. I guess they only have 1 mana, so
yeah.
That's a big. Everything is just so big on the side of Rich Game Buddy.
I'm an even larger guy.
Turns out Bird into Dog is pretty good. Oh, and the surrender. Yeah, just choking Robomaster out of the game. Like, this wall of meat will not be surmounted.
Bird into Dog. Robomaster also missed 1 and 2, which is kind of okay because they were banking up for the Bone Club. But the second the Bone Club came down and just got answered immediately, everything was going downhill from there.
Yeah, that was really, I think, Robomaster's only real answer for the big, tall units coming down on the side of Rich Game Buddy. But let's see. Oh, and the Chosen One. Some say it's better to be lucky than good, but what happens when you're both?
Oh.
Sending away the Bird Dog?
No, he kept it all. I thought he sent it away as well.
The madman.
I mean, Robomaster just needs to stick 1 good Overwhelm unit, and I think things are going to be pretty solid. Okay, Yadolski on 2, right on time.
I'm just going to say that I don't condone dogfighting.
Good on you. Are you saying he should not block the dog here?
Really, it's... Ooh.
What about bird on dog fighting? Does that count?
I think that's just the natural order of things, honestly.
Perfect.
This is interesting. I guess just saying, hey, you're not allowed to block.
Yeah, I can see that. It makes sense too, right? Because you're almost always going to swing with this dog regardless.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
A big unit.
That's a big unit. I will say this, brothers, although you would lose both units, Robomaster has a couple choices here as far as interaction. I think that we're going to see brothers onto both saboteurs and trade down. Yep.
I like it.
And then it's just Bone Club o'clock.
Yeah, and I like keeping the
no.
because making your guys bigger is always better.
Mm-hmm. Getting that extra swing is, I think, going to be pretty relevant in this matchup. Now, on the side of Rich King Buddy, I wish we knew the power and toughness on these units. But I am a big...
It was a 5-4 as well, the Ballista.
Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of slapping down Ballista and putting the Bone Club on it next turn and saying, what are you going to do about it? This also works. I mean, tough is nice.
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming Bone Club's...
Okay, so probably Bone Club. I'm just a value addict. I desperately want to put the dog on the board and swing, but
there you go.
Yeah. I was going to say that I think that having the interaction available would be nice, but 10-9. I think you still put Bone Club on and swing.
Yeah, just go for the trade.
Mm-hmm. Like, hey, it cost you 5, it cost me 5, but my stuff's getting bigger.
Yeah. Do you ever take the damage and just block the dog, and like that way you can set up your Battle Fury?
I actually think that I probably would, because then it forces the interaction on your opponent's side first. But you know, that would also require math, and math is for blockers.
True, that is true. I also don't mind this because you do have another overwhelm unit that you can just slap Bone Club back onto. So, kind of a mirror of the other side.
Let's see. So Bone Club grants 5-4.
5-5.
5-5. Okay, so it's going to be a 9-7. So Snowdog would be big enough to block, and trade. You know, I guess we're just going to keep trading.
Yeah, I think the big problem here, though, is Snowdog does not have Overwhelm. So you can just kind of keep the Bone Club on this dog.
Oh, I was just going to throw Dog away to trade the Overwhelm unit and throw down my next Overwhelm unit with a club.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for that tipping point where someone has enough mana for Bone Club and Whirling Death. I think that those Whirling Deaths in hand, I think, are really going to be like where the difference comes. Now, what's awkward is this Snowdog can't trade with Bone Club. It's only going to be a 7. Now, that is a big Razor Mace.
That's a big one.
But
okay,
mine's bigger.
Interesting. So, okay, I mean, so if you Battle Fury here next turn, and then Whirling Death, you'll have enough for both. Is that enough? Probably not, right?
The problem is if your opponent has their own Whirling Death, you are losing the game.
Yes. Although you're probably happy if they just take the Battle Fury hit as well, but I don't think it's ever worth it to do it, right?
No, I think it just depends on how you view your position. I mean, Rich King Buddy,
that
Sejuani makes all the difference, because now you're free to do whatever you want to the opponent's board.
Yeah, plus the Whirling Death backup.
I mean, even if they Sky Splitter, that unit is dying for free. I mean, and this is what you were talking about before, just the value of that Sejuani, being able to like take the game a little bit longer, having that. I don't see how. Opting for interesting.
I mean, I can see why they're saving the Sejuani for their attack token.
I think that this is going to be a huge blowout for Rich Game Buddy.
I think so too. I kind of liked playing Sejuani on the Ballista and then having the Omen Hawk pull it, and then Sejuani plus the Lizard swinging face.
Yeah, just kill. I think that Rich Game Buddy should put the Ballista in front and just taking it.
Oh.
The madman. I mean, maybe just saying, I'm going to put enough units out there that you're going to die. Yeah. I mean, there's no interaction here. Like, 7 health. Oh, my. And you have to, I mean, I think you have to respect the Sejuani and just open swing.
Yeah, I think you have to. And when we see there, Salty Simon actually lost to 10 stews, 1-2. So you're Darkin are up 1 game.
Yep. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and they're... Okay, so I think what's going to happen here is we're just going to see a 1 buff on one of these 2 units, just putting out Sky Splitter. And then, do you have anything else?
Yikes.
Whirling Death's going to be met with Whirling Death, and that is going to... Yep. I mean, it doesn't functionally matter, right? Like,
yeah, more damage doing it on the Razor Mace.
Yeah. I mean, even if they have pot, like they are very, very dead.
Yeah. That was a pretty interesting set there.
Yeah, it was. I really do think that, you know, maybe there's a line that we're not thinking of, but I really think that playing the Sejuani there could have been the game ender.
Yeah, I agree. I think getting Sejuani down there might have been the deciding factor. I'll probably go back and look, but 2-1, Rich Game Buddy takes it. And with the result we saw from before, that means they've won the match.
Yeah, took it for the Darkin.
Yeah, I guess your predictions are a bit closer than mine so far.
You know, once again, better to be lucky than good.
Yeah. I mean, there is still one more match between them going on. It could help with tiebreakers because this was the group that was extremely close together.
I mean, those 2-1s, like, you know, I think that obviously they're happy to win the match, but I think that they want to scrap every game out that they can, you know.
Yep.
Those tiebreakers are gonna mean a lot here at the end of the night. Looking back at what a roller coaster of a game 1. Oh, and looks like we're gonna get to see a little Arachnobat action. Ooh, and a Vengeance coming out on the Lux. I'm just going to say, no, you don't get to aloof me to death.
This is Never Walk Alone versus Arachnobat. I'm guessing game 3, judging by the match clock.
If not, they had a very long control game.
That could also be true. Nora decks and always seem to take forever sometimes.
I mean, it's never-ending blockers. It will be interesting. You know, obviously never want game to end due to time, but it could be relevant depending on how long these turns end up taking.
Yep. The Portal Pioneer coming in. They're both at 6 mana each. Jace coming down. Okay. I mean, we've got single combat, we've got mystics, we've got form-ups. I guess they need, like, hard removal, right, for Jace if he was going to die this turn?
Yeah. What's interesting is it looks like there have been no 6-mana spells cast this game, and there are definitely not any generators in Arachnobat's hand, so it's going to be a long one.
Yeah, it's also funny because we see a Reggie on board, but no 6+ cost spell in hand. So I'm guessing that Aloof must have hit it.
Yeah, that would make sense. Which, interesting. I wonder if it's ever worth it to have Mystic shot the Nora as soon as she came down. I guess you're just planning to just drag her away with Jace next turn.
I feel like that's the plan.
Yeah, and also like having the Mystic shots for face could also be relevant.
Yep. One portal.
Oh, you know, Crushbot, you know, a lot of value. Look at them stats.
And
nothing more menacing than a 2/5 on turn 7.
Yeah, this hand from Arachnobat is very reactive, right? It's very like unit dependent. So if this Jace ever like goes away, it's not gonna feel that good.
I mean, I could even see, Vile Fees, you know, Avenge, like the main issue is that this Mage Seeker in our hand, and well, not in Arachnobat's hand, is not really doing anything until you cast a 6-cost spell. You know, even if you draw, I mean, drawing a Pharaohs here might be nice just to get the second Jace, so you can play a 6-cost spell.
Yeah, at the moment, it's just a 3/2. It doesn't even have Challenger. It doesn't have the extra stats.
Just
he's just there.
I mean, and obviously we see here that Golden Crushpot is obviously the superior unit. You know, a 2/5.
Oh my goodness! Bringing the Crushbot back.
Yeah, I do think that this Mordekaiser is actually going to be quite difficult to deal with. I wonder, honestly, if looking at the hand, if you commit to killing it right now with another form up and the single, do you use a single and a Mystic? You know, I'm not really sure like what the ideal is here.
Quite the tricky spot, right? Like, because like I was mentioning earlier, a lot of like the 3 cards in your hand form up, or actually just 2 now, form up and single all depend on having a unit, right? So
maybe the thought is,
I'm
sorry.
Might as well use it, right? If Jace is gonna die.
Yeah, Jace is gonna go away anyways. You've already spent a form up. I mean, but you're also only at 10 health. I mean, and this is 4, you know, 4 on the open swing.
Yep. And 3/2 comes down.
Yep. And really, unfortunately, like we've been saying, Arachnobat just just out of value. I mean, I love Mystic Shot, but it's not going to win you the game when your opponent's at 20 health.
Yeah. I mean, we also have the Halberd still, and still 4 cards in hand. Could be anything. I wonder if there's any other portals aside from the one Nora hit.
There we go.
Oh, okay, there we go. Winnable.
And I think you have to just eat it, unfortunately.
Yeah, you kind of need this Mage Seeker to start doing things. Going down to 5 is pretty scary. Although I don't think there's like much burn.
I think the biggest problem is that Tarash coming out in a couple of turns. I mean, there's just no way to cleanly remove Tarash in this deck. I mean, you could even see like a Ruination here and just say, hey, oh, we're a box. Oh, that's pretty brutal.
That is rough. Hey, we need a big draw.
That's something.
That is something.
I think it's gonna have to be a progress day.
Yeah.
I mean, Jace is leveled.
Ooh.
I think honestly on the side of Arachnobat, like you have to keep that Explorer alive. You do not want, you know, obviously like telling the sacrifice deck, no, you can't kill that. No, and another Mordekaiser.
Too soon. Mord looks very, very close to leveling too. So that's a form of burn too, right? If Mord gets a attack off.
Yeah. I mean, and Tarash is going to come out next turn and just summon everything. Like they can just go wide enough that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Let's see. You could kill Tarash, but with double Mystic, double Aftershock, but that's a little rough.
Yeah, that's also assuming they don't wing right away when playing them. Oh,
Yeah. I mean, they're not going to give you the chance to do double
yeah.
slow spells. Jace Lex has vengeance, right? Totally Apex vengeance.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. I like this. I think I would have liked the commitment of the form up.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, that's just. I mean,
Sure.
yeah. Honestly, though, like I don't like the line there, but it doesn't really
Yeah,
matter.
not
I
gonna
mean,
change much. I mean, we know from Never Walk Alone side, what there's at least two 3-3s in there.
yeah. It's. I mean, even just the 10, like with the.
Yeah, like there's nothing on board. There's nothing. Nothing's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
No Senna ruination here.
yeah, yeah, and I do believe, yeah, that's the first win for Glorious Evolution. So overall was a two, or I'm assuming that was game 3.
Yeah, I mean,
Overall, it's a 2-1 in favor of Aatrox Darkens.
interesting that all the matches. So it's a 2-1 with 3 2-1s. So there's a there's a theme here. Obviously, close group is close. Weird.
Who saw that coming?
Yeah, and I think that a lot of those games that we saw could have gone either way. It's just those small decisions and drawing bird and dog on turn 1 that really changes the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit difficult to do that, but when you do it, it works. So
Yep.
I think it pays off.
Yep.
So I guess take a break, get ready for the next set of matches, and
See.
welcome back. Ready for round 2 for today. We are going to be following Nora's Tea Drinkers versus Lee Sin's Dragons. Let me see. How do you feel about these teams? Once again, same group though. They're all fighting for their lives.
I cannot form a coherent thought because I'm just super excited to see Lee Sin Victor. I unfortunately will have all of my opinions colored by that.
Well, as a Lee Sin Victor enjoyer, does it bring you pleasure that Lee Sin's Dragons were the one to bring it?
Yes, there is multiple layers to this. Just really excited to see old decks, kind of like old archetypes getting revitalized as teams try and kind of work within the the Aegis structure to see how they can best spread that power around.
Yeah, and to be fair, Nora's Tea Drinker also did bring Lee Sin, but it's Akshan Lee Sin, not the old kind. So I guess Akshan is more of a newer version, right?
Yeah, I mean, look,
first.
I love it all. You know what? I think time has just completely melted my brain. I don't know who came out first. I want to say that Akshan Lee Sin was the stronger archetype, and the Victor Lee burn bot got a little bit of shine.
Yeah.
But I'm also interested to see, maybe we'll see Toritaka bringing Nora Sejuani. There's some spice in between these teams.
Yeah. So I was actually on Nora's Tea Drinkers in the Ascension League. And I will say I am cheering for them. So Toritaka, Lawa, AJ the Pro is the one who came in after me. I just didn't have the time to participate always. So it's great that we had someone really good to replace me. And then on the other side, we've got Our Rebellion, Goofy, and Void for Lee Sin's Dragons. All really strong players. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top there. And like you said, the deck choices are also really spicy, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're even seeing old Akshan Sivir coming back. I think the theme is just really and maybe I'm wrong about this, but I think the most interesting part in Aegis lineups is finding those powerful champions and figuring out how you can share that power across a limited deck format. Akshan obviously seeing a lot of play. Nora, Mordekaiser, we're seeing Mordekaiser Fearsomes. So there's just a lot of interesting things happening here. Players and teams trying to get an edge.
Yeah, and Lawa's lineup is pretty interesting. It's just it's just pure fearsomes. All 3 decks.
Oops, all fearsomes.
Yeah, oops, all fearsomes with a little bit of spice, different spice to make it legal to bring. You got Nocturne with Shurima. You've got Mordekaiser. Oh, just mono SI Mordekaiser, and then the other one is Ampless with Iceborne Legacy. So it's definitely an interesting strategy.
It is interesting seeing some of these cards where Iceborne Legacy for a while was just an absolute menace with elusive Poros. Just seeing how these cards kind of come in and come out, and as they're more or less playable based on the speed of the meta. Maybe we're gonna see some really big Mist Wraiths or Spiders.
Yeah. Mist Wraiths and Spiders and Poros, I think, were the main 3, right? That kind of made use of Iceborne.
Yeah, there was an Elise Trundle deck for a little while.
Yep.
But
yeah, season 0 of Aegis.
Oh yeah,
it was pretty popular, right?
Yeah. Some wildly broken things have come and gone in LoR's history. Be interested to see who matches up.
Yeah. Oh, so it looks like it's going to be AJ versus Y Rebellion, and that's who we're going to be following. Yeah. So let's take a look at the deck list they got. We got Y Rebellion on the Victor Lee Sin that you were looking forward to seeing. Why don't you take this one away?
Well, let's take a look real quick. So it looks like, a sword. Okay, so we're, doing things a little bit different. So we've got Soren a couple copies of Soren Cartographer, Vestian Disciple. We're going to cast lots of created spells and draw lots of cards. Ballistic Bot, a mainstay. It looks very similar spell shell to the Akshan Lee Sin, just a little bit different point of attack. Maybe going for less of the, not having glaive to stack on, and not having the option of overwhelm, using more Lee Sin as a control tool as we burn the opponent to death.
Yeah, makes sense. And like you were saying before, Ballistic Bot is just a really good card for like this style of deck, right? It just does a little bit of chip damage. It's a spell for Lee Sin and Victor, a spell for Eye of the Dragon.
They also get so dang big.
it gets out of hand really quickly. Like sometimes it's just another win condition, right?
Mm-hmm. You can do cheeky things with a big bot. I like big bots, and I cannot lie.
Yeah. Whose butt is bigger, Ballistic Bot or Victor?
Starting out, it's Ballistic Bot, but we'll see. So we've got a Janna Nyla list here. What do you think of this list, ShotX?
I like this list. I know that there's always like a debate, like temple or no temple. This one, as you can see, is no temple, and it's also playing Master Lookout. But the thing about Janna Nyla is sometimes it just runs over you, just out of nowhere. It draws a ton. It does a lot of good early damage. It draws a ton of cards, and then you're dead. And there's nothing you can do sometimes.
I mean, it's just kind of like what we saw with the Noxus. With the Noxus Overwhelm decks, sometimes they just draw, bird into dog, or in this case, we get Miriam into Windborn Mariners, and it's turn 2, turn 3, and they have a full board of 3/3s.
Yeah.
Or 3/1s, sorry.
and this is also a deck that's including a Cartographer, which I find pretty interesting. I don't think it's like very standard to play it in Janna Nyla, but it's also not a card that you wouldn't be too surprised to see. And unlike the Noxus Freljord Overwhelm deck, this has quite a bit of burn to finish you off.
Oh, yeah. Also having one copy of Wizened Helmsman to bring back some of those elemental spells to do just a little bit more burn.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Helmsman in this deck. Like either version, temple, no temple, or slow. Helmsman is just... I think Helmsman is pretty broken.
Yeah. I mean... It's a good card, as long as you can live long enough to get to see them.
Yep, that's always the issue. And then the last deck we have here, I believe it is, Morgana Udyr. Once again, looks pretty similar to the other ones we saw.
No Storm Splitter. Or Sky Splitter, sorry.
Yeah, no Sky Splitter, no Iron. No Rally or Darken Spear.
Yeah.
Less of attack and more straight to the point.
Just looking for consistency. So I've got a couple extra strike spells, maybe just saying I want to win on the board early and just end the game a little faster.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of Troll Chant. I've always thought it's a really, really good card. I'm pretty sure it is a really, really good card, especially with Morgana. Counts as 2 targets.
Mm-hmm. 2-cost spells broken in LoR. Who could have known?
Where's Seraphine when you need her?
Oh, oh goodness! Imagine the bruise that we'd be seeing with illegal Seraphine, but alas.
Yeah, and on the other side, on AJ's side, from Nora's Tea Drinker, we got Victor Heimerdinger, 1 temple. Okay, pretty neat.
I like making things cheaper. I will say one thing, and this is just my personal beef with it a little bit. I don't like the idea of making the 6-cost spells cheaper. Although there's not that many in this deck, there's just formula. But having the option for elusive turrets, or making sure that you can have those elusive turrets, I think is pretty valuable. If it gets sorted away before you draw your Heimerdinger, now, and at a certain point, if you've cycled through your deck enough, the spells aren't going to provide any value with the turrets.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Um, even though the discount is obviously very, very nice, sometimes you do want an elusive turret. Although I guess overwhelm or quick attack ain't too bad either.
Hmm.
Sometimes you just want to spam the board, and Victor can be your win condition.
Oh, absolutely. Um, I do think it's interesting to have a couple copies of Tasty Fey Folk here. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I think they may have been expecting, more overwhelm or more fearsomes, and that's why the couple copies are there just to kind of survive long enough to get to your own game plan.
yeah, makes sense.
Hmm. Rocket Barrage is also neat too.
Hmm. Ooh, Kindred Mordekaiser.
Kindred
I like it.
Mordekaiser. Vandal Kindred Mordekaiser.
I like this deck a lot.
I see one copy of Quick Quill, which is really interesting.
You give that Quick Quill Deathless, it's disgusting. It bounces back to your hand, you just give everything Deathless.
That is really neat, huh?
It's that is one word for it, yes.
Yeah.
Um, I really like the inclusion of Kindred and kind of I would call it the Aegis meta. Makes things a little bit more aggressive, giving a way to remove your opponent's units in a way that some really struggle to interact with. And Kindred can just grow to be an absolute unit and threaten to, kill the opponent on your own. There's also the interaction between Kindred and Mordekaiser, bringing her back and applying a new mark, removing more of the board.
Yeah, it's really neat. And Kindred, like you said, in this Aegis meta, especially if there's going to be more decks that aren't running much interaction, like Overwhelm or something, she can just sit there and get out of hand, right? And just single-handedly win you the game.
Oh, absolutely. Really punishes go tall strategies.
Yeah, and I really like Risu in these Mordekaiser builds. Risu is also something that that really can get out of hand if you give it Deathless or just hit it with Mordekaiser. Those 7/3 with 3 impacts that come out, the Storm Clouds, they're devastating.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just saying, hey, you're going to have to trade with this or you're just going to die.
Yeah. And then finally, we got a Lee Sin Auction deck. And this one is playing one copy of Mistfall to find that swinging glaive.
That is a bold strategy, Cotton. And more take
behind it. I can see it working out.
I mean, you know what? Glaive good. I like Glaive. You get a Glaive on an auction and you're off to the races. It's cute.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll just have to see if that ends up gumming up the hand, being a late draw that you don't want to see, or you draw a Glaive and now great, now I have 2. Although it does thin your deck, so there's pluses and minuses.
Yeah, it also can give you the bit of extra spell mana you need. My biggest fear is, especially in this deck, that Mistfall will clog up the board too much with Eye of the Dragons and the Auction Landmark.
Yeah.
Plus all the other units. So it's going to take a lot of managing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it can be very awkward, of course, just like you were saying, if you have a Warlord's Horde on the board and you try to play Vicar and Vagabond to get more value and there's just no room.
Yeah. And also, I don't remember if the other one did, but this one has 2 tasty Feyfolk as well.
Yeah.
So it really does seem like they were expecting maybe more aggro, perhaps. But yeah, so who do you think is going to win in the end? I'm going to North Tea Drinkers.
Look, I already said I'm biased. Lee Sin, I don't care if it's right. That's what my heart says.
Should have figured. Lee Sin gamers. Single brain Lee Sin gamers. What? I didn't say anything.
I'm sorry. I'm too busy hearing your Nexus getting dragon kicked.
If you were really into that, you would main deck Dragon's Rage, okay?
Yes.
Remember when Lee Sin's champion spell was Dragon Rage?
Oh my god.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's wild just how changing the spell associated with the champion just makes them so much better or worse. Diana having Oh my goodness, why am I
Pale,
2-mana Eclipse?
Pale Cascade, yeah.
Pale Cascade, God bless. One day my brain will work good. But just how much the changing those champion spells can, really make a champion better or worse.
Yeah.
Bans.
Let's see.
I've heard bans will make her dance.
Well,
But, I don't know. It was a joke, and I've suddenly segued us out of what we were actually doing.
we'll still in bans, don't worry. Go on.
Looking at AJ the Pro, I think that I'm banning Shannon Nyla.
Anna Nyla.
Yeah, too fast.
Too fast.
Draw.
You are kind of teched out with the bait hooks in Victor and in Lee Sin for some lifesteal. Although I guess you're right. There's a lot of removal as well, right? For the
Yeah, I mean, Mystic Shot. I think that, like you said earlier, it's just so explosive. You can try to tech for it to where if you're forced to play into it, you can get a few more percentage points. But I think that I'm not trying to target Jan and Isla with this lineup.
Yeah, I think I might just ban Lee Sin still, but
Ooh.
Yeah. Nyla takes the ban, and so does Kindred deck.
I agree with that, man. I think that Kindred, the Kindred deck, just is very challenging to interact with. If they do get Kindred down.
Oh, look at this Lee Sin mirror.
I couldn't be happier. Looking at this hand,
yep.
AJ's hand looks stellar.
Yeah. Wow. We've even got the Vagabond plus another auction after this one goes away.
Looking at the hand, I think I really like playing out Vagabond on this next turn, saving the auction for when there is more
protection, right?
More protection.
Yeah, I agree. I like that too. Do you ever aftershock the landmark? Maybe not this turn, but maybe next.
I think next turn, yes, because it'll be at 4, maybe 3.
Yeah.
But that way they don't have enough mana to speed it to 0. I have been punished before thinking, oh, I've got one more turn, I'm safe. And they blitz it to 0 and my dreams crumble.
Yeah, especially in these kind of decks where they're running, Shape Stones, they're running Onic Wave and
Wuju style.
Yeah. Oh, another Eye of the Dragon drawn. Not exactly what we wanted to see yet, I think.
I mean, I could see it as just being, I'm perfectly okay with, just removal, putting out removal magnets.
Yeah. Yep. And you could just become the beatdown for a bit, right? With the dragon.
Yeah. I mean, if you play both out, you have perfect spell mana going into your next turn.
I like the open here. Get some damage in. Hawkling's gonna find. Ooh, both champions. Okay. Going for
I think Victor is the pull here. You've got a lot of protection in hand, and to just be able to build up a threat. Yeah.
There it is. After landmark like we were expecting, and brings it back.
Yeah. I do think with just no spells in hand, like this is, although it is dangerous to try and Mystic Shot this auction.
Yeah.
Although you will have enough playing out Victor. Or you could just go Victor Ballistic Bot.
Yeah, I kind of like Victor Ballistic Bot.
I kind of like Victor first.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like doing one first, seeing what their action is. Or even swinging first to give them priority to see what they do. Mm-hmm. But I do like Victor first more because I think no matter what you're doing this turn, you're playing out Victor.
Right. Take a keyword, see what you get. Now, looking at AJ's hand, this is a really awkward. So, this is one of the unfortunate parts about Grappling Hook is good players make good plays. The keyword Casino has been kind.
if everything goes according to the script, I mean the plan, then what's next? Is it going to be spell shield?
Um, I think so. You know, just protecting it for unworthy soul in any interaction. Life steal wouldn't be bad.
Okay, so the next two is going to be lifesteal and spell shield. Got it.
Yep. Definitely not impact. It would never be impact.
Ooh, fearful.
This board is just looking so awkward for or this hand is just looking so awkward for AJ.
I think in the auction, that's your second auction. But it's a bit.
I mean, with 9 mana in hand and as many spells as your deck runs, like I think it's it's a pretty reasonable bluff.
I think so too. It's reasonable. Like I don't even think you're gonna bother blocking it. Just kind of go for the safer blocks. Like you could send ballistic in front if you really wanted to.
I mean, you've got enough protection in hand that you could challenge and try and kill. But I think honestly, with Victor rolling well, you'd almost rather have it just for the kills.
From AJ's side, these, like you said, these grappling hooks are they're really awkward if you're not drawing anything. Target challenger. Okay, I wasn't on the bingo card, but that's still really solid.
Yep, not mad about it. I think you throw out the shot, the ballistic.
Or do you go for clockling first, maybe?
I guess it depends. I kind of like playing clockling at the start of next turn. Maybe Mystic going ahead and Mystic shotting this auction. Or
recall the landmark.
I mean, it's pretty funny.
It is.
I like funny. It, but funny. You might need to save it for Lee.
Yeah, 3 cards in hand for AJ. We've got 6 Rebellion side plus 1 really big elusive, annoying elusive.
I think we're gonna see Victor get bounced pretty soon.
Probably. Do you ever bounce your auction back here?
I don't.
It just dies to another Mystic. But then again, your hand is already looking really bad.
I think maybe you just have to risk it and just say, like there's just nothing else going on.
Yeah, okay. I like it.
Yeah.
You got to make moves, right? Like you have to do something.
Yeah, I mean, I could also see like next turn maybe Y Rebellion bounces the landmark first, so that they can't play out Akshan and immediately level.
Yeah. But it is risky to like any single target spell.
I mean, it doesn't look like they have a lot in hand. The hand's been very clunky.
Yeah, in a deck full of them, I don't know if they run them.
No. Yeah, I mean, you could also bounce. You could also let them play it out and bounce Warlord's Horde.
Oh, you could. Fearsome rolled. Script is falling apart.
Yeah. Look, I can only do so much.
One way to win here is there. So if you play Ignition, they go down to 13. Victor goes up to 7.
They don't have any recall in hand. I mean, you've got double pomp in hand. You could give 6. You could go 12. Yeah, you can just kill them. Like, if you want it to be game, it is game with the elusives.
Yeah.
Oh, and you need to swing now because that grappling hook. You talk about that Mistfall coming into play.
Oh. Okay, we went back in time.
We got a little rewind, a little reverb.
Yeah. Even if they grappling hook, you've got the answers.
Right, you just bounce it,
and they'll be tapped out to 1.
And then the game is absolutely over. I mean, we're looking here, what, like 9, 11 damage coming in? Yeah, and I mean, that that just ends the game right there.
Yeah. You do this, there's like buffs can't save them.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing left in there, nothing left that they can play. And destroying the glaive is also just brutal.
Cherry on top. Like Rebellion takes the first game.
Victor's a good champion.
Yeah, all right. He does stuff.
The keyword casino pulls through again. Okay, so I think you just play. I will say I think that it is an uphill climb for Y Rebellion here. Really needs to get big chunky units out early on this Morgana Udyr deck, or they're going to get kicked and bounced and blocked with tons of turrets. That looks like a better opening hand for AJ.
That does look a lot better. Probably just send Wuju and Unworthy back, I'd say.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Now, if you're Y Rebellion, what are you keeping? What are you kicking?
I'd like keeping the Pioneer because for Akshan, of course, but also if you don't get a chance to pop the Horde, you can use it for the keywords, which sometimes matters against Lee. It depends on how they trigger him, right?
Right.
But otherwise, I don't know. Do you keep your champ? Or do you just for like
it's so tough. Like I think I think kicking the Morgana. Well, the game said no, you need this Morgana. Sent it right back.
Oh.
Bird on one.
Dog on two incoming.
Vulpine Wanderer. Vulpine is dog based, so.
Okay.
We're stretching a little bit.
Akshan down. Horde is out. Or Palace is out. Yeah.
I don't. It's tough. I mean, I guess you make them spend the spell if they have it, and I don't even know if AJ will commit the spell here to make the trade.
I think you just keep it, and then you play your Vagabond next turn, and then you swing and commit the spell if need be.
Oh, big Berserker.
Ooh.
I think this is pretty much exactly what you want to see. I think with that Berserker draw, you float the mana, play Berserker, and you start stacking up stances.
Yeah, and then from Aegis side, we kind of need a bit more spells, but we can like turbo pop this Palace. No Vagabond.
I do, you know what? Honestly, I do also like with a 3/4 Pioneer, just forcing them to commit multiple spells, which, you know, with Caster Vision, we know that AJ doesn't currently have. So that'll be interesting if Y Rebellion can force AJ to trade away his Akshan.
Yeah, and then I'm pretty sure you're just playing Vagabond here. Is there... I mean, you could get Eye down right now, but I think I'd rather have a 3/3 on board.
Yeah. I mean, if you play Eye, you make them choose. But I think the choice is always going to be Akshan.
Yeah. Wuju was really good.
Yeah. I mean, Wuju keeps... Between Wuju and Shapestone, this Akshan's going to stay alive.
Yeah.
I mean, unless Y Rebellion commits the stance.
I don't think they would. I think you'd probably just save it for the... You probably just go Berserker or swing first. You go Berserker and then Udyr next turn with the free stance.
Yeah. What happens if you pass?
I feel like bad things happen if you...
Probably so. Oh, that Berserker. Oof.
I mean, AJ is probably feeling pretty good seeing that they just kind of spent all their mana.
Yeah, I mean, I think that AJ is in a great spot here.
Yeah.
I do like, even if you lose the trade, forcing out all of the spells in hand to save this Akshan.
Yeah. Luckily, I mean, you just need one, right? It's just Wuju plus the meditation.
Would put him at yeah, just the Wuju plus meditation, like just forcing spells out, forcing out answers.
Yeah.
Um,
Also trades into the Pioneer, which is great.
oh, for sure. Like, and then you flip.
Oh, here's the decision. So Akshan or I.
Yeah,
Those
I
are the
think
safer ones.
I is the probably the safer choice,
Hmm.
considering that they've got the mana floating.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
you can still Wuju plus meditation it,
yeah,
but it just won't end up trading off.
right. I mean, you could commit Wuju and Shapestone, but that I think is really kind of putting you in an awkward spot. Oh, just not. I don't know if I. I mean, I guess you do have the Lee Sin coming down so that you can, but
Yeah.
you risk losing out to Fettering.
The other thing is this also puts the palace at 2, and it lets you play a vagabond to level up Lee Sin and not create a new one. So your board space is
Oh, to level up Akshan.
yeah. Because if they did do that, then they wanted to play vagabond, it would take up 2 more spots, right? So I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
that's something they're considering as well.
I think you just throw the bird under the bus.
Yeah, probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
guess
okay.
it's okay too.
Making spending the spells worse. You know what? I like that so that they can't get out this turn.
Mhm.
You know what's interesting is the curse counts as a spell as well.
Yeah, that's the interesting part, right?
Um, I wonder if you ever just play Udyr here and you say, "I'm going to make this boy huge. You'd better stop me now."
I kind of like that. The only worry is they're on triple unworthy soul. So if you do go either, it could just go right back to hand.
The good thing is it makes your stance swap free. So if you were going to do stance swap anyways this turn, you could also fettering and then do. But I like it.
The other interesting thing is you could also just stance swap maybe on the Pioneer and not the Udyr, so that way Udyr stays on board if they did have like a recall.
Yeah, no, I think that that's smart. Like, giving giving what 2/2. Although you kind of also want to just start ending the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
They didn't cast 2 spells last turn, so they should be safe to throw this on Udyr if they want.
Yeah. Interesting that the Lee Sin came out now because it's most likely just going to be a barrier blocker the following turn.
I do like the idea of starting the turn with fettering to make their make them spend more money, more mana to get out their draw spell, and just taxing them, not letting them float.
Yeah. Spending money, always too rough.
Gentleman's Duel is also interesting here. Oh, they've got the Overwhelm spell in hand, but Lee Sin is nowhere near. Oh, I mean, I guess just making it so that they have to trade, but that's interesting.
Yeah, you just block the Berserker here with the Vagabond. And then what do you cast? You're casting
I think,
plus Wuju, right?
yeah.
You could block Udyr as well. And
Yeah, I think I would have really liked to see the fettering first.
yeah, I think you were right. That was probably the play to go at the start of turn with fettering.
Yeah. Because now this Lee Sin gets in for free. I mean, and there's so many punishes for if you like. I mean, I guess really the main focus, I guess, for Y Rebellion is just getting that stand swap out. But I think fettering could have done a lot of work here. Maybe the thought is swinging first so that they can't clear fettering early, and it taxes their mana going into the next turn.
Yeah, and like you said, Lee Sin. This was Lee Sin's first aggression spells. So this is number 3. Is Lee Sin? He's been changed so many times. He's not 10 anymore, right? He's
It's 8.
8. Okay. Remember
It,
when he was like 6 spells?
oh my god. There things had to change. But
What are we predicting for? What are we grabbing? Wuju. That's a really good one, I think.
yeah, I mean, honestly, any double cast spell just to get Lee Sin going, and to also tick down Horde. I almost don't want to play Morgana or the curses. You know, I could see like maybe we're not playing the curse just to like not wanting to play low cost curses.
Uh-huh.
But 4 mana is
Bettering.
pretty steep.
Yeah. Just playing out the curse, get it out of your hand so you can play your other spells. Blunder. Okay. Getting to Blunder here.
I kind of would have liked, honestly, like taking, although, you know, maybe it's not, maybe the thought is that you won't be able to kill it fast enough, but I kind of would have liked the landmark destruction.
Yeah. I also think the first one should have got landmark destruction.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I understand why, right? It's like Glaive really puts things out of hand. But this one around, yeah, I guess the thinking was just I'm not going to be able to kill this landmark before they can pop it or something, right?
Right. But are you ever going to be able to? Because really, the keywords that you care about, they're getting at burst speed.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier when we were going over deck list was Blunder is only really good if they have to use like slow spells or something to trigger Lee Sin.
I mean, or if they'd gotten the keywords with Glaive to force them to get more, but now are they going to be able to level? They're going to be able to level Lee Sin here.
5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, they could if they want to just end it all.
I mean, and there's not really any meaningful way to interact with this, right? I mean,
yeah, they know that there's no freezes.
There's not enough power on any of the units.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just send it. Just go. I mean, this, like, you spend one more spell and the kick kills.
Interesting. They went for. Do they have any more? Oh, they still have one left. Okay, I was going to say they needed one more to pop the Horde to also get Spell Shield.
I mean, yeah, like, you might as well, like, just.
Yeah, just send it all.
Wrap it up with a bow, because now with Barrier and Spell Shield and being a 14-11.
Yeah, the only, I mean, they have an out. They can send their the 6/9 into the Lee
to save.
Yeah. To kill it so the Dragon's Kick doesn't do the extra damage.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
but I mean, delaying the inevitable.
Yeah.
Udyr will
Is there a way to ever come back here?
Udyr will be quite large, but I don't know if it's enough. You can remove the and I mean, I think the only out you have is you have to play out Udyr, put Overwhelm on him, and hope for the best, I guess. But he's.
Yeah. I was gonna say the other out was hoping that there's no spells in hand for AJ, but we just saw he drew a Deep Meditation. So there is definitely more than enough spells.
My spells are spells, and honestly, we haven't. I don't believe we've seen an Unworthy Soul yet, so there's pretty reasonable likelihood that there's going to be either a Deny or an Unworthy Soul to stop the Overwhelm. I don't think that this does anything.
Don't think so either. Like you don't need to play the Shackles now either. You just hold it for the next turn, right?
You can just use it to trigger release at the start of next turn. I mean,
okay.
I think the only out that you really had was to play Udyr. I mean, it's a long shot, but you can at least get big enough to where you can threaten lethal. You can take away the you could have taken away lifesteal from the Dragonling, but most likely you're just going to run into a barriered Lee Sin. You know.
Yeah, I think I really liked holding onto the shackles and just playing out Faithful or something, and then that way Morgana would also shackle Akshan, and then you'd still have 3 blockers. You're up 14, and then 2 of your blockers are lifesteal units.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you have to remove lifesteal from the Dragonling. I don't know. I think there's just like we'll have to see what the master plan is, because unless you remove lifesteal, I mean, I guess actually Morgana will. Well, Morgana won't ping the Dragonling, right? Like it's just
it's gonna get the Lee Sin.
So.
So okay, if we went Udyr instead, I think it was still kind of.
It would be Udyr would be could be a 14, but it's not enough damage either way. Like I don't think that there's really like a winning line here, because you're going to get Lee Sin kicked next turn regardless. I also think that, like you said, shackling shackling Akshan would have been nice, because now they're just going to get another horde, you know. So it looks like we'll be very likely seeing a game 3.
Yep. Like it. Now this time you keep the shackle.
Yeah, shackle, kick Morgana, game over.
Yeah, nothing. Do.
Or, also draw more spells. It's one of the things, not as relevant here, but one of the things that's always been interesting to me about the Lee Sin decks is, knowing when to trigger barrier. Being able to, like, hold on to that, or for your opponent, knowing how to play around the barrier to be able to effectively deal with the Lee Sin.
Yeah. I find a lot of, like, inexperienced Lee Sin players just trigger both for no reason.
Yeah.
You need to, right?
Yeah, and you just really, like, and I think this just goes for card games in general. I think giving your opponent the hard decisions, giving them the least information to work with, is generally the right decision. I like to think of it as giving your opponent the opportunity to misplay. Let them make a mistake, and then you can capitalize on it.
Yep. And here we got Victor Heimer versus Udyr Morgana. We see a dog. We don't see a bird, or at least a 1-cost bird yet. On AJ's side, Rocket Barrage is a pretty good card, I think. The problem is there's a lot of buffs in this deck.
Yeah. I mean, if that card doesn't come out early, I think it's going to be dead.
We do also see the Aftershock for the Snow Dog, depending on who's on the attack.
Yeah, I think that Aftershock is going to be key. One thing, looking back at Y Rebellion's Morgana Udyr list, there is there's no Sky Splitter, so all of the buff spells, and there's no Iron Pot, so all the buff spells are 2 mana. So there's no way to really save Snowdog here.
Nope, there is not. And we also see the wonderful Victor drawn.
I like this play. I think, a lot of times you'll try and throw out Snowdog, and Aftershock is always in their hand.
Yep.
Especially thinking like how you have to win this game, that Snowdog is really important to protect. So being able to go, like, maybe next turn develop the Snowdog, and having the Inner Beast to pump it up just by 1.
Yeah, and against PNZ, Formidable's don't really seem that great because of all the damage-based interaction.
Right.
It's good. You just kind of throw it out there to kind of die, pretty much. And then you, like you said, keep the dog with the beast back up.
Hmm. I like it a lot. You know, it's removal bait, and if it gets to stay, awesome.
Yep. But we do see
Ooh,
Ballistic
it
coming
is a
down.
bigger bird.
Even bigger bird. But the Ballistic Victor combo, things can get out of hand again. Also with Twin Discipline to back it up. Ooh, just a
Mhm.
pass. That's interesting.
I think that you still throw down Broadwing here if you're Y Rebellion.
Yeah, especially that it's buffed, right?
Hmm. Oh, but this does open you up to. So what's interesting, if they had decided to play the Rocket Barrage there, could have been valuable. But I think Victor is the better play, just to
Yeah.
get.
I do find it interesting they didn't play Victor initially. Wonder why. And no single combat coming out. Okay.
Maybe hoping to see the Bladebound Berserker come down, so they could try and nuke it with.
That's true. That's
Rocket
true.
Barrage.
They did have the interaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not worth trying to snipe off the Victor with the single because you're just going to get Challenger next turn and
Yeah.
pull it.
I think you get more value out of having Udyr on the board with your strike spells, anyways. Being able to create more.
Yeah, more stand swaps.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Goofy's 1-2-0 into Eddie.
Oh, okay.
So maybe a series closing game here in the works.
I mean, currently I'm giving it to AJ. I do like the state of his hand and board right now. But Udyr generating these stances can be like really scary.
And that's a big Badger Bear.
It is huge.
It's a huge bear. Okay, so how do you feel about going in with Broadwing now, dragging the Ballistic Bot, and saying, hey, do you want to trade off your Victor?
Hmm.
Before they can get to 4 power.
Oh, I don't know. I still think I like buffing here and then sending in.
Yeah, I guess you already have the 0 cost, so you want to
Yeah.
get it going.
And also, we see another match update. We see Void taking down Lava 2-0. So I guess the triple fearsome lineup didn't work out there.
It turns out it wasn't that fearsome.
Yeah, not fearsome enough.
Not fearsome enough. Now things are going to get interesting because Udyr at a 7/7, it's a lot more difficult to protect this Victor, and you might end up having to trade it.
Yeah, I mean we do have the sleep spell to kind of stop any single combat, but
I think
mean keep taking either the 7 to the face or blocking with the ballistic, right?
Well, and at this point, do you drag Victor or do you drag Ballistic? I like dragging Ballistic just to take away some of the extra fodder.
Yeah, I like that.
Of course, now things are interesting. Yeah, they're at 20 health. I think that it doesn't functionally matter that they have this on board, although they could trade the
I like this because now you're going to force out a twin or a buff, and you've got the single to answer back. And then
my
the question will be, do they have another one?
Do you not want to get the extra buffs on dog? I guess you don't want to trade that away, but
I would have liked to see dog go in, I think.
Ooh, is it going to be a sleep, the twin? What are we pulling here?
What? Wait, what was this?
I
Not a sleep or a twin, right? It's a...
Nope, I don't know. Was there?
I don't remember what the other card was.
You look away and
It was a Mystic.
yep. I maybe just gonna try and Mystic the Broadwing.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's all it's going to be, just to keep Victor alive. The problem is, even Twin doesn't keep it from alive from the single combat with the Udyr. You could trade into the Udyr with Twin, but still not enough.
I think that I'm throwing Udyr at. I think you might do nothing here. Take the Feyfolk trade, and then kill the Udyr on the back end. I mean, kill the Victor afterwards.
I see, with a single.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I don't like this.
Ooh.
I think that this is the worst possible choice. I mean, like, not to be negative, but I think that this opens you up to the most counterplay.
Yes.
Now
it leaves too much room.
I think it's a little bit greedy.
Oh, and Fury. I didn't even notice that one.
I mean, so now they get to keep their Victor. I mean, they've got. I think that this is kind of a critical turning point, especially with the sleep spell in hand. Things are going to start getting really difficult for White Rebellion, I think.
Yeah. And you just start off casting your Victor spell, see what you get, go from there.
I mean, because if we would have just waited, we could have had a free stance spell in hand and killed Victor, who now has lifesteal. You know, and also when they couldn't bounce our Udyr, it's just, you know, not to perseverate on it, but, you know, I think that this puts Y Rebellion in a really tough spot.
Yeah, because what do you do here? You just hardcast the stance swap, give it probably regen, right?
Mm-hmm. I think you have to. You have to, because the rocket barrage here on. I mean, obviously, like rocket barrage here would be pretty tough. You know, after you decided that you'd rather keep the Udyr around.
And he does go for the regeneration. And I'm pretty sure. What, we're just gonna cast Ignition, hold up the sleep spell just in case, and load it?
Oh. Yeah.
Okay.
I think proactively casting the sleep spell here would be disastrous.
Yeah. I hope not. Okay, there we go. We let it go. Yeah, like I said, I think you just play Ignition. Once again, pass priority, see what they do.
I mean, do you even just swing with Victor? I mean, they obviously do not want to trade their Udyr, but I guess you don't have any value really in hand. So you just stay at the keyword casino and hope for the best?
Yeah, I think that's the best plan for the time being.
Wait until you have two pieces of interaction in hand to force, so when they do play, think, oh, all right, never mind.
The only reason I don't like this is because if they do turn around and say, yeah, I'm just going to trade Udyr, you're left with, what, a ballistic bot? And that's it.
I think that if you're Y Rebellion, there's no... What combination of cards is going... Yeah.
Yeah.
Ballistic bot's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, free damage.
Yeah, just pushing things down just a little bit more. And Y Rebellion can't afford to play anything here. Now having your Udyr at 7-9, things are... would have been nice to see that Blade-Bound Berserker just a little bit earlier.
I guess you just grab Blunder here for the Victor.
Mm-hmm. I imagine you just drag Ballistic Bot out of the way and swing with Udyr.
Probably. I kind of liked... Maybe not. I was wondering if you play Forge Chief or anything. I kind of like playing Force Chief last turn.
Oh, interesting. I mean, I guess just threatening more damage, but I mean,
Go for a big board, I guess.
yep. And now you can take away the lifesteal. So, do you not want to just drag the ballistic bot to force him to trade the this? Because now it's just kind of
Devastating because the Mystic in hand.
yep. I'm. Yeah, I really liked forcing because all of the other units would have either traded or they're just taking blocking Snowdog. They're never going to block the Udyr. And this is pretty rough. I think you have to go. Oh, and with the Mystic Shot, like you can't save the Udyr.
Like it's just or the Mystic Shot, right? Both of them are bad. Like you either sleep your own Victor or you Mystic Shot the Udyr. It's yeah, it's a tight spot.
And I think that this is all just sequencing choices and, you know, drag targets. I mean, they're tough decisions. And obviously, like, we can see the hands, which makes it very different.
Yeah.
But this Victor is just going to get out of control now. I mean, I would argue this Victor is out of control.
I believe he's 1 or 2 away from leveling as well. If he levels, it's going to be... It's going to make things even worse.
Now, do you play...
created spells, right?
Right. Do you play Bladebound and then play the double ping?
Yeah, I kind of like that.
And play double ping on your dog, so you can keep Doggo around and trim the board a bit.
Yeah, like your options are like not. You don't have many, and I think you need to get rid of this or attempt to get rid of the Victor somehow.
Victor has to die. You have another stance in hand. You know.
Okay, I guess another blunder. Yeah. Okay, so Victor does level off this.
Yeah. So I guess that was never going to threaten to kill him. So
Victor getting the 1 extra health from leveling up, which is nice as well.
Deathless.
Okay.
I mean, you can blunder next turn. And he won't have regen, so if AJ decides to swing with their Deathless Victor this turn, it will get punished.
Yeah, I think you just pass and get the keywords back and hope for another go at it. Oh.
Fettering.
Oh, timer fettering. Okay.
Interesting. I mean, I could definitely, just forcing out the... and if they do play Heimer, you can just clear all their turrets.
Yeah, you won't have any 2-cost turrets, right, for the tough?
So I imagine this is going to be asleep on the Explorer.
Yeah.
Do we want to trade Ballistic Bot here? I mean, I guess you don't want to take the damage either.
Going for the sleep on the Explorer instead of on Victor himself doesn't seem like it matters much. You lose to like single combat anyways. Timer's down. Like, wait, now you can double Ram stance.
Oh, like and you can
4 times kill Victor and Heimer.
But you're gonna, yep. And they're only gonna get a challenger. You know, honestly, considering they just have 1 in hand, what if you just play Fettering for? Oh, you can't. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah. So this was a reason to sleep your own Victor instead of Pioneer.
I mean, because now things have really flipped. Because there is not a lot happening in the hand of AJ. Even if you draw another champion, like you know, you got a Ford Chief and a prayer.
we need a Victor, and we need him to hit evasive.
I mean, oh my God, this fettering is going to be huge.
Oh my!
So you just target the you just target your explorer, and you get 3 fetterings. Although with just the one in hand, card in hand, it doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, you're not doing much otherwise. I mean, you're also still alive, which is great because currently you're taking 3 as things stand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Not bad, I suppose.
But if you have to use the sleep, I mean, I guess you don't have to use the sleep here.
And now you just, yep. Okay, go down to 1 and hope for the best.
What a turn! What a turn of events! I love the double ram stance play.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess just go for it. They've got 1 card in hand. I mean, 1 fearsome turret. Now, I'm just gonna say Piltover Tailstones off the top for the 3 draw for progress.
Formula would be insane.
Formula would be game ending. Unworthy Soul ain't bad. Make a quick attack unit.
I mean, the funny thing is, this Omen Hawk puts them 4 wide versus 3 wide.
Mm-hmm.
And they're at,
I mean, they can afford to replay all their units. I mean,
yeah. Oh, that's a big Omen Hawk.
Yeah, that's a bouncy Omen Hawk, and they do it again. I mean, I will say that with the quick attack turret, they have to block.
Do they? They're at 6.
I mean, are you gonna? I mean, I guess you have to say, like, if I block, I'm probably not winning. Versus you're just hoping they don't top draw a Mystic Shot.
Yeah, so what an interesting spot, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing. Like, if you block here, you don't win the game, and they slowly kill you with Heimer. You know, heart of the cards.
Badger Bear versus?
Oh, that's
a whiff.
Yeah, that is not a Mystic Shot. It would have been next turn.
Yeah, next turn for sure.
But there is no next turn. And Lee Sin's Dragons take it down. I think I've got you 2-0 now in predictions.
I don't think we talk about this. Anyways.
All right. What a roller coaster of a game.
Yeah, that one was a crazy game. Yeah, I think you put it pretty well. It really did come down to sequencing and knowing which targets to pick. I think the big decision point was not sleeping your own Victor and going for the Pioneer instead.
Yeah.
Especially knowing that there was at least 1 hand swap in hand.
Yeah, I think that, obviously, like, when we talk about these plays, like, we have perfect information, and these decisions are not nerve-wracking for us because we just get to watch. But, making those little decisions about what you're going to play around, and like what you can afford to play around, I think made all the difference in this game.
Yeah, exactly. And with this match wrapping up, Lee Sin's Dragons takes the set 3-0.
Yeah, kudos to them. They had some interesting decks, and so did Nora's Tea Drinkers, but the Dragons take it down.
Yeah, and winning 3-0 puts you in a really good spot in this close-knit group. The Lee Sin's Dragons is probably gonna finish pretty close to on top.
Yeah, they've really put themselves in an excellent position.
Yeah. But glad to watch that series. It was really intense. All 3 games were pretty exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, well, we got 2 more matches today that we're gonna watch.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna take a short
One more full set in the collab. Azir's ascended.
Every time I touch mic. Every time I touch mic.
Welcome back. We're here with match 3 of the night of the final week of the Swiss group play stages. Today this match we're gonna be following Azir's Ascended versus Maokai Sapling. How do you feel about this one? Who do you want to take a look at?
So just looking at the teams or the players, or looking at the decks here, there's some interesting things, some Aatrox Quinn going on, some old FTR. Once again, I feel like the theme of the week has been surprising blast from the past with a new twist. Things changing up, slightly adapting, changing over time, but it turns out good champions are still good. So it'll be very interested to see how this FTR goes. Very sad to see that it doesn't have a she who wins.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get to see that one in action. And on Maokai's Sapling side, I see 2 of the same lineup: 2 Morgana Udyr, 2 Draven Sejuani, 2 Kindred Mordekaiser, and then we've got Old Faithful, the Agua lineup: Janna Nyla, Elise Nocturne, and Lurk, like Rek'Sai. I feel like I haven't seen Lurk in forever.
Good.
Yeah, as much as everyone may hate Lurk, In, well, what's a world without lurk? What is it? You know?
One less coin flip. Token on 1? Okay, good. Token on 2? I cry.
Okay, they miss on 1, right? They always miss.
I have 0 mastery on Pike and Rek'Sai. I'm a dedicated hater.
One of those, huh?
Oh yeah. I honestly, it was the main thing was just the significant win difference between like token 1 and token 2. Just always like, and I'm sure that, you know, good Lork players can play around it, but it just hurt me too much. I couldn't do it.
You never enjoyed Pike Demacia at all? Or
What about some Rek'Sai, like mono Rek'Sai, you know,
mono streamer Rek'Sai, right? I think that's what it was, right?
yeah, you just big. She's a big girl.
You can enjoy the finer Lurk-ish deck.
You said finer. I heard degenerate.
Just a little. I mean, what can I say? I love those kind of decks.
Oh yeah, just get out there and get weird with it. I think we'll have some interesting games, just like with how these decks line up. Very curious to see, you know, if the removal works out or if it ends up being a little bit too clunky. You know, wrong pieces at the wrong time.
Yeah. Also, in terms of like the teams and the groups, this is we're hopping over to Group 1, where a series Ascended is in first and pretty much locked in to move on, whereas Maokai Sapling is all the way on the other end, and they started off the night in last. Not sure how their games have gone since watching the other group, but this is their chance to make hopefully a comeback, make it into top 3 to move on to the playoffs.
It's a last stand, you know. You know, and sometimes you need things to just fall just a little bit your way. You know, obviously they, you know, put in the preparation. We'll see if it pays off.
Yeah. Interesting to see. I guess let's hop into some decks. We're going to be following Methonical, and he's the one who is bringing, we got at least Nocturne, so mono SI, fearsomes. And it looks, I guess, pretty standard. We've got 2 Soul Cleave and 3 Harrowing. Pretty neat. It's also playing the landmark, the Iron Conquest, to make more Mist Wraiths or anything really, any ephemeral follower. A Skitterer is a good target. Wraithcall is a good target. There's many there, but I don't see anything like too spicy.
Looks like fearsomes.
Yeah, looks pretty much cut and paste, the usual fearsome deck.
If deck good, you don't have to change it much. I mean, you know, I honestly prefer this over the decks that were playing Vengeances and like trying to, no, you're an aggro deck. You know, you have a top end finisher and otherwise you go face. You know, I think anytime that you start watering that down, you make your other aggro matchups significantly worse. You know, you don't hedge, you know, a 90-10 matchup 5% to lose 20 in another one, you know, so.
Yeah. I will say I was rooting for Lawa last round with his triple fearsome lineup, but unfortunately that one didn't work out. So we'll see if just a single fearsome deck is the way to go. And next, there it is, the FTR deck, Grundle Tryndamere. How do you feel about this one?
I am once again saddened by the lack of She Who Wins, but interesting having the Troll Scavenger and Faces of the Old Ones. You know, there is a lot of removal here and a little bit of ramp. Honestly, I think I would have liked to have seen more ramp. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but Faces of the Old Ones only triggers off of 8 cost spells in hand, or 8 holding 8 cost things.
Yeah.
So it looks like we have 6, 9, 12. I mean, so there's a quarter, like, you know, you've got a reasonable chance, but otherwise it's just sitting on the board staring at you. And I do think that some of the removal pieces are a little clunky, but, you know, Gotta have a mix, I guess. I do love the box, especially with the harrowing being out there. It is a clean answer to like all your stuff dies.
Yeah, I agree. I was just about to say I'm a fan of the box, especially in these fearsome harrowing decks running around. We've got Nora portal decks running around. It can catch like a lot off guard, right?
Yeah, I think the one that I take the most issue is actually the triple Withering Whale. Just because I don't think there's enough like 1 health units out there, and having like a 1 ping into the next turn 1 ping is just not quite it. But the health is nice.
Yeah, the healing is nice. Healing is cheating, as they say. I guess the other good thing is like it can combine with like Avalanche Whale is nice. But yeah, just something like double whale.
We have Ruination at home.
Yeah, Ruination at home. It is also running like the Bird and Ice. That stairs little combo there. Also Ruination at home, but sometimes it ends up being a bit better than Ruination at home, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I one-sided Ruination good.
Yeah. And then final deck is Morgana Udyr. Seems to be a staple of the day today. This time we've got Darkened Spear being run, no Golden Aegis, 2 Troll Chants. We still have all the strikes, 2 dual, no, not 3. And everything else is, seems the usual.
The only thing I'm sad about is that there's not at least 2 Anakas, so you can live the dream and Anaka. I've only once had the triple Anaka, and it was I don't think you can top it.
It's an amazing feeling, isn't it?
Yep. The high
one, it always gonna hit Omen Hawk on the last one, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
You can't get greedy. You can't have it all.
Yeah. And then let's see who he's facing, and the decks. I believe he's going up against Salazar, who is on Kindred Mordekaiser. Oh, PNZ Kindred Mordekaiser. I think the other one we saw, I forgot who brought it, but it was Bandle on the. This one's gonna be PNZ, right?
Yeah, and there are pluses and minuses. I kind of like having some more of the like landmark removal, clean answers for the dog with Aftershock, without needing to sacrifice your units. But I also just think Aloof is just really strong in this shell. One thing that I do like a little bit more about the Bandle is being able to have conches to create copies and other spells. But I think that PNZ's very present today, and you've got some strong tools that you can pull from that.
Yeah, and then now that you mention it, I remember it was Norris Tea Drinkers who brought it, and they were playing like Risu's as one of their Bandle cards, which is very strong. But instead, we have Spectral Ironhound in this deck as kind of their big repeating unit that they want to Mordekaiser off.
Right, Cheetah Summon, another and a target for Legion of the Severed. Deathless Spectral Ironhound is good.
Also running the box, which I also like. One Ruination, so we'll see if that comes into play at all. Yeah, and next deck we have here could be Draven Sejuani. Yep, Draven Sejuani. So running the one of Sejuani.
Wild Claw's Ferocity.
Yeah, 1 copy of it. That's a card I've always liked in this deck, because it turns your Omen Hawks or your rear guards that are just kind of getting chump blocked all the time or doing nothing. It turns them into actual big threats.
It makes your mist, what I would call your mist buffs, because nothing makes an overwhelmed gamer sadder than an Omen Hawk hitting an Omen Hawk, but being able to make your Omen Hawk into a big cat is awesome.
Yeah. And another noticeable thing is there's no bone clubs in here. So you won't be able to, just slap a bone club over and over on something threatening. Got to rely on the good old Battle Fury buffs. Got 2 mites as well.
I like the inclusion of Three Sisters. I love a flexible card, being able to buff, being able to freeze, just having those options of interaction and giving your opponent more to play around is great.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, very versatile, very flexible. And one Whirling Death and one Fervor. So it's got a little bit of reach with the Fervor. But interaction-wise, it's lacking a bit because there's only one Whirling Death compared to the other list we saw. Yep, and finally, we've got, once again, Morgana Udyr.
Ooh. And they've opted for Three Sisters here.
Yeah. Looks like Salazar was going for the more versatile, defense or offense, however you want to see it, with the Three Sisters in both this plus the Overwhelm deck. Also running Spear as well. Yeah.
I've heard the best defense is offense, but,
I heard the opposite. I heard the best offense is defense.
Well, you know what? We'll just have to see.
We'll find out.
I am hoping for an Anaka showdown. Who pulls better? Let the decks decide who deserves the win.
That would be nice. I guess. Another interesting thing is instead of 3 singles and 2 duels, Salazar's on 2 singles and 3 duels. What do you make of that? Why would you run 3 duels instead of 3 singles?
I could see that if you are playing into decks that are more damage removal based, or if you are like imagining that you're going to play into Morgana Udyr mirrors where the stats can really matter, having that extra point of health could be all the difference in keeping your Udyr on the board or trading it away, to an enemy single. So I can see the benefit. It does cost 1 more. So there are some drawbacks, but I could understand just trying to protect your board from damage-based removal.
Yep. So I guess with all that said, who do you think's gonna win?
I gotta give it to Azir's Ascended. It's 8-2. Team, like, I think that even with a lead, they're still going to take it seriously. No games off. So I'm gonna give it to Azir's.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there. Big fan of them, and like you said, 8-2. They're the top dogs. Just because it's the last week and they're pretty much locked in, I don't think they're gonna back down. They're gonna give it their best, and they'll probably take it all down. Ooh, bans. Okay. Let's see. I feel Mordekaiser Kindred might just be the ban for Methodical.
I agree. I think it's got to go. Like that Kindred is so difficult to deal with for these decks. I mean, and you can get punished so quickly. And also just getting rid of the aloof. I mean, aloof for FTR is just absolutely miserable.
Yeah. And I think on the flip side, it might just be FTR that's getting hit here.
I agree. I mean, it's just big removal. You can't really, you don't have any way to interact. If they throw down FTR, what are you going to do? You're going to die.
I mean, I would love to see it in action, but yeah, I think it is going to be the ban. And Overwhelm always kind of, like, sometimes it can get under it and just, quickly hit them hard and fast. But if you let them buy time and they reach that hard removal, like Vengeances, Buried in Ice, if that's theirs, like you won't be able to stick a board.
I guess you're gonna get your wish. There's an Udyr Morgana ban coming out. It's been
okay, Udyr Morgana. So we're gonna get to see Kindred Mordekaiser, which is nice as well.
I've been baited. Interesting.
Okay.
And then there's the FTR. You can't.
Who's running production? I hate this guy. He got my hopes up.
Oh no. Okay. Oh, the Soul Harvest, and we kick it. I'm so confused. I was saying that dog is gonna get Soul Harvested right off the get, and they were like, "Nope, it's gone."
Maybe he believed they'll never draw it. Ever. mean, on the flip side, I don't know. I guess you wouldn't want the dog to buff more units to become fearsome blockers, but everything's already kind of a fearsome blocker, right?
Yeah. There's not a. Speaking of blockers, Salazar's not drawing a lot of them.
Yeah. I mean, Draven is pretty nice to also help Snowdog become a blocker, but these rear guards. Oh, do you want to see these rear guards? They can be pretty punishing if they get to swing multiple times, right? Because you really don't want to trade your units into them if you're also an aggro deck.
Right. I just think it's so bad. Not having the option to block is always tough.
Yep.
You know, I think Skitterer is going to be very strong in a turn. Is it?
We also have Skitterer plus Iron Conquest to reuse it over.
I mean, I think you just throw down Skitterer here just to get rid of the dog.
Yep.
Save a little health. Probably be.
You ever save the dog, do you?
No.
Oh.
I mean, I guess if you don't have other blockers, I mean, maybe that's the thought.
That is true too, right? Like
you've got two
blockers in hand.
And you're either going to play Razor Mace or you're probably going to play Yeti next turn.
Yeah, going for the Wraithcaller, obviously hitting Allegiance in your mono SI deck.
60% of the time, it works every time. This is a little bit of an awkward attack now, though.
Do you ever just send in the Wraithcaller, or do you keep it around to copy with Conquest?
That's tough, because I was almost thinking more so like keeping Skitterer back to copy with Conquest, but
that's what I was thinking too.
Methodical disagrees. I like the idea of being able to copy Skitterer, because then you can just make their whole board not block. Whereas this...
Yeah, this is interesting. I see. So with 2 Nocturne in hand, you're just pretty much doing this to level Nocturne, plus chip down their board a bit, right?
That makes sense. You know, just saying, hey, do you want to take the damage? You know, I imagine that they're going to kick... You know, oh, I thought that they were going to spend an axe to kill the Wraithcaller. I mean, because if you kill the Wraithcaller, you can play rearguard, Yeti, and you've got a pretty strong turn. But now they've still got a chump blocker.
Yeah, I mean...
Although the Overwhelm, you know, that is kind of the name of the game. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is interesting that they didn't spend the axe for it. What do we do here? We just slam Nocturne. I think we just slam...
Just spend a Nocturne and, like, set up for next turn.
Yeah, I like that. And then you also have Unspeakable Horror, the Nocturne champ spell, to try and take out this Razor Mace.
Oh, yeah. And you'll get...
Is it a Nightfall card, right? Or
it is a Nightfall card, yes.
It's a Nightfall card, okay, yeah.
I also like the idea of having the second Nocturne next turn to, like, follow up with. But being able to drag and kill as you please, but...
Yeah, the only thing is, like, obviously it's not a guarantee to kill it. I mean, we know it is. But also... I don't know. Yeah, I guess Nocturne wouldn't level until on attack, so you can't do any like burst Nocturne -1 to everything. Yeah.
Right. I will say I like the Iron Conquest coming down because it'll allow Methodical to trigger Nightfall.
Go to full swing. So you just kind of block out here, right?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely like... I mean, I guess, you know, looking at the value of it, I mean, I think if you're going to block, you have to block out the 2 rear guards. You are taking a lot of damage.
What kind of crack
I mean,
is there? Yeah, I don't think there's a way it's lethal if you don't take them.
I will also say I still think that, just going back to that previous play, if we trade away the axe last turn, we still have an axe in hand, and this Wraithcaller is dead and didn't get to be copied.
Yep. Yeah. Interesting. Just using an axe to just push a bit more damage.
Functionally, what is the difference here between 6 and 7? Not trying to be like
Oh, hit a Legion.
pedantic.
Pretty lucky.
No. Does this Ichor needs to go, right? Like, taking more burn off of it seems, because this isn't
Lethal, yeah.
Oh, is it?
You can only block one.
Oh yeah. Well, look at me, not doing math good.
I actually forgot the Wraithcaller is buffed. That's why.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, makes sense. See, methodical, doing the math.
Yeah, I heard he's a pretty mathy guy. And so what do we got left? Morgana Udyr versus one of these two. I'm assuming we'll see Overwhelm put up again.
Yeah, potentially. Or maybe a palette cleanser. Bring out the Mordekaiser Kindred.
Would be nice.
I mean, I do think the Kindred deck will be quite a bit stronger into this, whereas like what we saw in the previous series, where
I agree.
Ooh.
That is what's going to happen.
Oh, I'm so greedy. I want to keep the Fettering and the Bladebound Berserker. But, the big question is just, how do you deal with Kindred? It's... I just don't think there's a clean way to do it. It's going to be a little difficult.
Exactly.
This hand sucks. Like, I mean, now if you're Salazar, are you looking to put? I imagine you're wanting to put Deathless on the Ironhound.
Most likely, yeah. Because let's see, if you put on Kindred, it could be okay, but then there is quite like a lot of pings through the numerous stance swaps that are out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You ever Troll Chant or Inner Beast this?
Yeah, I think you Troll Chant. I mean, get big, make the it's impossible for them to kill dog with Hate Spike.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, big Udyr. Oh dear, that's big.
Oh dear.
I think that you swing first with Kindred. And then
what could punish you there?
They don't have Sky Splitter. So Troll Chant, but it doesn't kill your Kindred.
Yeah, it still doesn't kill. Okay, yeah. I like swinging.
Now things get iffy, but you've got backup with Hate Spike. Or you can just do that and just pass. This is why I like swing first, to see if they would commit something.
Yes. You want
because now if you swing, they're just going to trade away the dog.
Yeah, you want to get answers out. Any more information.
So now you get nothing for your Kindred Mark.
And now you're stuck with suppression in hand.
Mm-hmm. It's not ideal. Although Vengeance is pretty great here.
Yeah, would be great if you could cast it.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Um,
again, there's nothing like threatening right now, anyways. It's just this 3/6. There's no stand swaps in hand that you know of. Like what can really happen right now, right?
yeah, there's not a lot that can go wrong for you.
Yeah, like if they
Oh,
wanted to kill this Kindred, they have to what? Like they have to double Inner Beast and single combat or something. It's like
yeah, it's just not happening.
see, Gray Merchant taking down MP 2-1.
Yeah, and as long as this Kindred is out here, like it's going to be so dangerous to play anything
Yeah.
big.
And that's why we see just a pass. Oh, there you go. Like you said, the deathless on the Iron Hound.
Yeah, and now it's going to get spicy because Salazar's going to get a lot of value from sacrificing that. I mean, killing a unit, like I do wish that they would swing here, but
Yeah, especially with Spirit's Journey in hand, there's not much that can kind of, I guess, outplay you there. Like, they don't run. The only buffs they run is Inner Beast.
you know, I
With no
guess
form-ups or anything.
yeah, because if they commit something to the board, okay, so now you have to do things. You cannot allow this board to stay. So I think what you have to do is what I would think you would do is you hate spike the bird to kill a berserker with mark.
It's like the bird. Yeah,
You got to do something like this.
I mean, I'm kind of okay with this too because you are in a pretty good position, especially with
Yeah.
this Iron Hound, right?
I mean, I guess if you get Iron Hound out and you just start grinding out value, you also have the Ruination in hand if they commit, but I don't want to lose my Kindred.
Yeah, but then again, there's like it's pretty hard to lose your Kindred, right?
Right. I don't want to be forced to use Ruination and lose my Kindred.
Yeah. So 6/6 Udyr coming down.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, and that's... I almost would have preferred to make them use the stance first. Like,
yeah.
if they swing, like you've got options. You could, I mean, you had the Vengeance and I guess you have second Kindred too, though, and killing 2 Berserkers is awesome.
Yeah, but I don't know. I did not like it much.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that this position is pretty like
You're still
difficult.
okay.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you've got an 8/4 fearsome that is. I mean, this Broadwing has no business talking to.
Yeah.
I mean, and you even have the halberd in hand, so you could sacrifice.
Yep. Yeah, I like you're right. The position is still like pretty good. It just could have been better, like much better, but still looking fine. Holding back the Iron Hound, just sending in the.
I mean, it could have made it impossible to block, but I guess it maybe wanting the extra value from Kindred. And still have the Vengeance in hand. I mean, this Udyr is not connecting this year.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, someone tell him it doesn't matter what stance you pick. It's
yeah, I mean, I think we could have used, you know, like the Price is Right wheel, and it would have been the same.
Passing around, drawing more cards, single combat. That's kind of okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is fine. I mean, I'm throwing Vengeance at.
I think you just take it.
Yeah. You just throw Vengeance at Udyr and call it a day.
I kind of like taking it because I want to play Kindred, and then I want to kill my Iron Hound, trigger Kindred, and then force their hand with interaction. But I guess I'm only at.
Yeah, you only have 6, so you have answers. So unless they have double combat spell in hand, you can kill him.
Mhm.
But I mean, next turn you have a pretty commanding like position. Like you just
Yeah.
sacrifice it to draw, and if they
Yeah,
try and do anything,
I don't even mind not killing Udyr this turn. I don't mind
Mhm.
passing and then doing it next turn. As long as I'm forcing them to make the first play, and then I can
Mhm.
use my reaction spells, right?
Exactly. They've only got one. Um, you could even, if you wanted to, like just use Halberd. So you're there's no spell interaction window. They don't get any choice. It's just like, hey, your Udyr's dying.
Yep. Here though, I kind of like playing Fading Icon and then using something on it instead of Halberd. I like holding Halberd
Mhm.
for those burst interactions because even though it's a burst interaction, Kindred ability is not a burst, right? It doesn't kill it right away.
Right. I mean, and it doesn't matter because, like, interaction wise, like, I guess the only thing is, if you play a unit first, they could play another unit. This ensures that you're getting the mark on Udyr, right?
That's right. That makes sense. Although I don't think anything's going to be bigger than. Is it weakest or is it
It's
strongest?
weakest.
Oh, okay. So then, yeah, you're right. Going for the shackles and then just passing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so now he's just gonna eat a vengeance. Like,
Yep. There it is.
yeah.
And now we're left with nothing. I mean, Morgana looks like she's about to be leveled up,
Mhm.
and then that's it. That's all you really got. Is,
Yeah.
this
I
level
mean,
Morgana.
you're just gonna swing. You can just swing both in. Like, there's nothing that. If Morgana is gonna level, the two pumps would make her kill Kindred.
Are we?
And if we're gonna swing, why are we not swinging the fierce?
Yeah.
I
Maybe they thought it was stunned as well. Maybe. Yep.
yeah. So
There it is.
So the double pump. So now kills Kindred, which I think flips things kind of back into Methonical's favor.
Yeah, because Kindred was your biggest saving grace right now.
Mhm.
Like, sure, having an 8/4 fearsome is cool, or like this 5/1 and these hate spikes, but it doesn't.
I will say
Much.
Tarash is going to be a big deal.
Yeah. If only a buff was drawn, whether it be Troll Chant or even Duel, because you can duel without challenging,
Mhm.
or we can just challenge 0/1. This Morgana would have lived a bit longer, but I mean, these hate spikes are gonna help keep her down.
Mhm. I mean, the next turn Tarash comes down, and it probably makes these things like a non-issue
Yeah.
because it should summon a couple of Iron Hounds.
Going for the Ram stance. Okay.
I think that's just going to be an immediate and I think also the glimpse should have been utilized here
Mm-hmm.
because you're losing the units anyways.
Oh, Aloof taking out the
Ooh.
Berserker. Now you're stuck with one dog against the world.
I mean, if you cast a stance, it's just going to you're going to single combat it to death.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's just...
All right. Come on, please concede. Don't let the dog die. Oh, no.
Glimpse? No glimpse?
Glimpse believers in chat?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why we'd need to hold it.
Oh, wait, that's
Or just hate spike. I mean, that works too. Keeping the 8/3, like,
Yeah.
I like that. Keeping the 8/3, and then just play Tarash because that ends the game. Yeah.
Yeah, like the only thing that would have stopped Tarash is Morgana and
Three Sisters.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I think Salazar's the one running Three Sisters.
Oh, you're right.
And then
See,
Methonical's not.
you gotta run the tech.
Yeah. In game 2, going to Salazar and
Yeah, I mean, Interesting. I mean, for a moment there, the depths of despair that Kindred put in so much work, but you know, there just wasn't enough value left in Methonical's hand. Once again, I think that's a more difficult matchup. So I guess we'll have to see if Draven Sejuani can get under the Udyr, or if they're just going to get too tall too quick.
Yeah, and I mean, Chronicle's still, he's the one without the three sisters, so let's see how that goes. Whereas I believe Draven Sejuani is running three sisters, right? It was that one, and yeah, so he was running three sisters in both.
Okay, so we can see a lot of skill expression here in Salazar's hand by drawing bird on one, but also Methonical.
Oh, okay.
Also a skilled player, drawing bird on one. We'll really see who the better player is based on who gets dog in hand, and Methonical gets a buffed dog.
Blocking the 3-1 overwhelm, like, it always feels so terrible seeing this.
Yeah, it's and
there it is, the poor.
I feel like that.
Goodness, look at his hand, triple Draven.
I mean, and what's 4 power Draven?
Ooh, okay, that's a big Draven.
Yeah, I mean, and now
the dog Draven.
I mean, that is a lot of whirling deaths in hand.
Yeah, this game is definitely got interesting quick.
Mm-hmm.
We are gonna have to see some spells over on Methonical side, I think. Some stances or troll chants. We need something to kind of combat these whirling deaths.
I mean, and let's see. So looking on Salazar's next swing is going to have open mana for that Wild Claw.
Ooh, okay. Draven can actually level here, which is kind of crazy. If you want to spend one of the whirling deaths.
I mean, I think you do.
Especially if they block the overwhelm unit, then you do, right?
Yeah, I mean,
either way.
It's an interesting proposition, you know. Do you kill the dog? Do you push more damage? And I think damage is king.
Interesting to note, he discarded one of the Draven's whirling deaths.
Okay, valuing killing the value engine.
Yeah, I kind of like discarding the Legion rear guard, but
yeah,
maybe he's saving it for the Wild Claw.
Yeah, having just another target, you know, that way you don't lose Saboteur. A guaranteed point of damage. Been a while since I've seen a Draven flip.
Yeah, and it's extremely notable that Draven gains overwhelm on level.
Mm-hmm. You know, I think Salazar might have an overwhelming advantage here.
Only slightly, it seems. Would like to see some more overwhelm. With this Omen Hawk, I could see the advantage flying away.
Maybe I could see Rearguard Omen Hawk and just holding up the 3 mana.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. From Methonical side, I could see getting the Udyr down here. We can start kind of generating these stance swaps.
Yeah, I mean, even if Udyr dies, like, you just need the stance swap for these Berserkers to be worth anything.
Yeah, and then holding the Morgana for their attack token is probably the play.
Mm-hmm. Just punishing any development. And I do think you still swing with the Udyr.
Yeah,
you know, make it free.
What are they gonna do? Yeah, what are they going to do, right? They can trade off the Draven, which you're probably perfectly fine with.
Or they could spend the rest of their hand. Like,
yeah.
You know, like, sure, if you want to burn both your axes and now they can't. So Udyr should swing in for free or not. All right. What do I know?
I mean, there is one unknown card in hand, and it could be another Whirling Death.
True.
Odds are probably unlikely, but still.
So I think this is going to be a Morgana coming down, stopping the Draven from swinging, right? Or maybe the Razor Mace.
I think so. So 2 axes are face up, so it's just that one unknown card.
I think that I'd rather lock down the Draven they may be able to just willing to just spin and do it.
Yeah, I mean, since we know his hand, we know he is probably just willing. He is willing to do it.
Hmm.
From Methonical's point of view, you could be just going for it, right? Also, getting the lifesteal down is pretty important.
Hmm.
It's just these axes.
Yeah, making them spend the mana, so now they don't have the option to throw it out there.
Yeah,
I mean, I think you trade Udyr into the Razor Mace.
yeah, 100%. I think that's got to go there.
You're gonna lose Morgana to an axe.
Yeah, I also like trading the Razor Mace because you don't get the Ichor in hand.
Hmm.
I'm kind of okay giving up the Morgana.
I want to make them choose. Like,
But
I'm gonna put
yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna put Udyr in front of the Razor Mace and say, do you want the Ichor damage, or do you want to kill my Morgana? Although I guess on the flip side, if you keep Udyr around for one turn, he's going to be huge with these berserkers.
And you do also have a Pioneer in hand to kind of either heal up a little bit or just remove the Overwhelm from this Draven. Overwhelm and Quick Attack from the Draven.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem is you can't play... can you play... Let's see, going up to 7? You can play both a Berserker plus Pioneer. You just won't be able to play the spell from the Pioneer. Oh, what happened here?
I guess just swinging things around to take a little bit less damage, trying to stay at a healthy life total. So I think you're right. I think it'll be the probably it could be Broadwing. Oh, we've got enough for Pioneer, so maybe Pioneer, Berserker, or Broadwing Berserker. Potato.
Mold.
I will say, Methodical, Salazar's hand is not doing a lot after this. Now, do you just go after the Draven?
I think so. I think you just go for regen, right? And onto the Broadwing, and then just go after Draven.
Yeah. I mean, it's never gonna live, but you just kill. You know that they have one card in hand.
Yeah. The other good thing about going for the regen or bear stance is that your Berserker is also going to become pretty thick.
Mm-hmm.
Thick units are good overwhelm blockers.
Yep. I mean, I don't hate just killing the Razor Mace here. That's less Ichor damage.
This is a swing with the Badger Bear is also fine because if you do block with Draven, you just kind of wipe them out with stance swap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's going to be a big one. So I imagine we're just going to see the Wild Claw, ferocity on the bird.
I wonder if you should have played Wild Claw now, so that way if you top deck a Battle Fury, you can play it right away.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, because it's not going to make any functional difference. There's nothing else that they're going to do.
It could be bluffing Battle Fury. I mean, maybe. But I still don't think it makes too much of a difference.
No, so you can buff anything's power by 2. So what is the least that you can block and not die? So you gotta block 6. You can do that pretty easily there. I don't love that. I think
you're taking 7 for sure. You're leaving the Wild Claw alone. So 7.
Why not put it in front of the Wild Claw and at least get your stance? Here you're not getting a stance.
I think is okay because you do have duel as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you're baiting out the axes this way and they go for the axes, you just I guess you
Yeah.
dual.
Oh, but I understand because you get dual on Udyr. He goes to 9
Yeah,
and kills Draven.
yeah. So overall, you're
That
just taking the 7,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah, and
actually have
that.
enough to play out Icar too.
Mhm. Yeah. So that. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I do like that. Yeah, I was not thinking about the gentleman's. I forgot about the gentleman's duel granting the 2 health. Yeah, that's pretty backbreaking.
and I like this as well, going for the stance to finish the game instead of saving the 1 damage with the Icar.
Yeah, I mean they don't have. I think they might have like 1 like Noxian fervor, but you're at 6.
Yeah, you're at 6.95. Plus, you have 2 berserkers on board. So this stance swap is huge.
Holy value.
Do you ever develop more and get the other stance swap from the?
No, because I've got the Sejuani. Like the one of like Sejuani just kind of like. I mean, I guess maybe you can still get the because Udyr will still grow.
Yeah.
So you go. I think you go bear stance +2/+2 on Vulpine, or on him. I mean, I guess that.
The other thing is, you still have enough. Like, it's like I was saying earlier. Thick units make great overwhelm blockers. It doesn't matter how much attack they have, as long as they can block all the damage. And what I'm looking at right now is Wildclaw and Sejuani are never getting through these berserkers or Udyrs.
Oh yeah, and just being able to drag the blocker away, like. I guess like.
Yeah, and this Wildclaw, if you were able to survive, would have to be sacrificed to live on.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Locked down. Another 2-1.
Yeah. Interesting set. I liked we got to see the Kindred Mordekaiser deck in action.
Yeah, and it got to do the thing. Kindred is a great value engine. An awesome board hate piece. And it is interesting sometimes. Players saying, "Hey, if you have it, you have it." And unfortunately, today, Methodical had it.
Yep. And with that, and with the result we saw before, Azir's Ascended takes it 2-1, I believe. Yep, 2-1. But yeah, again, furthering their lead. They were already in first. Might as well keep going. The unfortunate part is for Maokai Sapling, they really needed a win.
Yeah, they. I think they really needed that to have any chances to be live for Top Cut. So I think that'll end their Aegis season right there. But it's a tough matchup. You prepare, you try, but sometimes the pieces just don't fall into place for you. Very close.
If I remember correctly, there's like a slim chance that they could still squeak into maybe third, but we'll have to see how the rest of the night goes for them. And we got one more match. Yeah, one more match coming to you tonight. We're gonna take a short break and then we'll hop right back into it.
Your lips are stained with fiction. You always have your reasons, and I spoil you rotten. Your hands are sealed in pockets. You fill them with your secrets. To you, I am nothing. I am. Your kiss, sweet like poison. You know you make me reckless. I'll run, but you are friction. Your touch feels like heaven. You make me hate all my sins. You are my religion. My religion. I have a million reasons to leave you, but I have a billion reasons to keep you. I have a million reasons.
Welcome back to the last match of the night of the Aegis Champions League. We've got Wayne's Flock versus Misfortune's Powder Monkey coming up. And I believe this is a very important match because this will probably decide who makes it in. I know we just saw Azir Descended versus Maokai Sapling, and we talked about how Maokai Sapling was last going into this, but Wayne's Flock was third going into today. So it means they might have to either catch up or win out to just keep their lead over Saplings.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Like, I'm not sure exactly how the games went earlier today for them. If things are going better or worse. Oh, sorry, not Swain's Flock. Outer Monkeys is the one who's in third and is going to need to win to keep their lead above Maokai Sapling. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. And they they have some really interesting lineups, which I am excited to see.
They are spicy.
Yeah, and we can hop into the decks right away and see. We've got Bruno here on Akshan Sivir, an old classic. How do you feel about Akshan Sivir?
Well, first off, we don't talk about Bruno, but
all right, now.
No. Okay, so just jumping ahead, this looks kind of like the old Akshan Sivir. Vakaram Bruiser coming back. So it looks like very mid-range. You've got your Concerted Strikes, Gentleman's Duel, Cataclysms. One thing that I think is missing is Ruin Runner. We saw a couple weeks ago, Ruin Runner putting in work, being able to close out the game with a Cataclysm, and giving you that closing threat. But I think looks like they're opting for a little bit more board-based, mid-rangey. Like, hey, I'm just gonna win dragging your stuff with quick attackers.
Yeah, and okay, if you really want to get deep about it, Bruiser and Lucky Finds can become a build your own Ruin Runner, right? So maybe that's what they were going.
Wait, are you saying we have Ruin Runner at home?
Yes, we got Ruin Runner at home. Maybe it's even better. It could be even better. It could get tough.
It could be anything. It could even be a Ruin Runner.
It could even be a Ruin Runner. Isn't that crazy?
That's wild.
But yeah, I've always been a fan of Akshan Sivir. It just can do so many different things, and a lot of the time it could just win out of nowhere, right? Like,
yeah.
Sivir being able to share her keywords with all other allies is so nasty sometimes.
Mhm. And we've got a golden Aegis just to, you know, what if our whole board had barrier? But it's a very flexible deck. You can do a lot with it, and I think it really rewards planning ahead and managing your resources effectively.
Yeah. And then going into the next deck from Powder Monkeys, we have Draven Rumble, but not that kind. Vandal Draven Rumble. Pretty interesting to see this. I've seen it a bit before. I've never really got to see it in action. But I think Draven Rumble built like this is exactly why they had cards like what is this called? Scrappy's Palooza. The name always messes me up. Like cards like that is like this is the deck that it was made for, right? To discard with Draven Axes, to discard with Rumble, Grenadier. It sometimes just kind of pops off.
Yeah. I do see the potential for Clunk, you know, with, you know, maybe you draw too many Scrappies, you know, maybe you draw 2 survival skills, but, you know, when the deck pops, it don't stop.
Yeah, yeah. And survival skills, it's a card that it always seems to catch people off guard when they least expect it. And it is so punishing sometimes when you run into it, fall for it. Sometimes there's nothing you can do, right? They just have it. And then Rumble in general, with Rumble with Might is always going to be, I want to say, one of the most annoying. Like, I don't want to call it broken, but sometimes it is.
It's very strong, you know.
Yeah, it is very strong, especially when leveled, right? Getting the free value.
What were we just talking about? Build your own Rune Runner, you know.
But Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, and just like getting the extra keywords from Parts of Palooza can be very strong depending on what you get. But it, you know, it's an explosive deck when it does the thing.
Yeah, yeah. The last deck we see here is going to be Argon, Ionia. I believe it is Lilia, Gale, Brightling's deck. Oh,
yep.
Zolani. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's very effective, pumps up Zolani. You've got chump blockers for forever, and they can still threaten quite a bit of damage. You've got Kale to threaten damage as well. Lots of value with Dewdrop Harvest and the Heart of the Tree as well. But once Zolani comes down, it can be so brutal to deal with her. You obviously can't let her swing, and unfortunately killing your opponent's units just makes Zolani better.
Yeah, and the nice thing about this deck is like Zolani's not the only threat. Kale, if she levels, and really just seal the game alone. Not to mention Spritlings do sometimes kind of get big sometimes.
Oh yeah,
there's a ton of them.
You know, I really think that the introduction of the new keywords and Spritlings has really boosted Kale.
You do this to me. Why?
I'm sick. I'm sorry.
Rip off the old block.
Yeah, excellent. See, now you're doing it. All right, so
I haven't seen Chip in a while though, but it is nice to see him included. You do got, you know, a ton of landmarks with Lilia, plus 2 drops and the Heart of the Trees. It's just, you know, a decent turn 1 play.
Yeah, just an easy include, helps you build board presence, easy way to work towards Zolani as well, and Kale.
Yeah, and I will always say it was a shame that Chip did not die that day.
Oh,
Only the real ones know about that. But anyways.
Oh my God. Production has us in purgatory for that joke. Okay, so now looking at Remney,
spiced it up. One Jarvan.
You know, interesting. You know, I feel like it's always whenever you include like that third champion, you know, who do you cut? And it looks like it's Morgana.
Yeah.
Considering how important the stance swaps are, I think that having 3 Udyr is worth it. I mean, he's just such a game-ending threat.
And
now, what is going on here with Forgotten Artifact?
yeah, the Jarvan's there to distract us from the one copy of Forgotten Artifact. It's honestly like a pretty decent card, I think.
I mean, giving everything. I mean, summoning a 5/2 and giving everything Challenger is pretty nice. Being able to, your units are going to be so big, and having if you have Overwhelm, being able to choose like where you're connecting. I mean, it's just a huge advantage.
Yeah, especially in this deck where we've seen it like numerous times today. Sometimes you have, a couple of weenie units that aren't really doing anything, like Wanderer or Omenhawk, letting them pull aside blockers while your big guys go in. It can be really good.
Oh, absolutely.
Next we got Trundle Lysandra, but it's not that Trundle Lysandra. It's Thralls.
Thralls are back, baby.
Yep, Thralls are back. We've got, I mean, it's kind of standard Thralls, except for the fact that Time in a Bottle does not exist in standard. So, or neither does Sands of Time. So we've just got Imagine Possibilities as our countdown.
We've got Preservationists as well.
That's right, the giraffe, I forgot.
Yep, the Time Giraffe and Clockwork Curator, but it is very different. Now, the one combo that I think is very interesting with this is Eating Out Watcher with Revitalizing War.
That's something I haven't seen in a long time.
So, I mean, we're playing late. Now, the thing that's interesting is, as far as like controlling the board, we've got a lot of weenie units, but, I don't know how easy it's going to be to make it that far. Trundle can block, Lysandra is a pretty decent blocker, but, there's no real removal here. So it'll be interesting to see how that holds up.
Yeah, and I think that's also something that Thralls had a bit of an issue with before, but they did have Time in a Bottle to help predict the answers they needed to survive that long, and also just to kind of burst out a Thrall if needed be. But without that, we just have like the unit-based countdown cards plus the Imagine Possibilities, which don't count down for much. It's just one for all of them, which could still do something, but yeah, like you said, we're gonna have to see if it can survive to overwhelm the board.
Excellent.
And finally,
Because the Thralls have overwhelmed. Yeah, the jokes are best when explained.
What does it do?
It summons Rico Rex.
Oh, perfect. Bone Club.
Excellent. So looks like third deck for Remney, we've got Nora Kindred Mordekaiser. So a one of Kindred. It's spicy. I like it. Taking advantage, giving yourself the option of that Kindred, which we saw do absolute loads of work in our match earlier today.
Yep. I like, personally, I think I would have gone 2 Kindred. One Nora, but I do like the mix of all 3 of them. And also, notably, we're in Bandle. So today we've seen, 2 Bandle and 1 PNZ one?
Mm-hmm.
I believe most people, I guess it's PNZ and Bandle, but Aloof with the Mordekaiser and the Deathless can really be annoying for some decks. So
Aloof.
That is a strategy. Yeah, it can really make strategies aloof.
Yes. It's just so brutal to have your deck just milled through and all of your high value cards just being dumped to the wayside.
Yep.
And against some decks like FTR, it's just absolutely backbreaking.
Yeah, or even the Thrall deck, if you're setting up that Watcher play and they just say, oh, here's an Aloof, it's just gone. It's over.
Have you considered if you didn't have that anymore?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Could work out.
Yeah.
Also, notably, they're also on Ironhound as well. I believe one of them was not. We saw earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, right. They were on Risus instead of Ironhounds. How do you? Is there one you think you'd prefer, one or the other, or are they kind of the same? Or
I think it's like I think I value the fierce, just with the decks that are running around, like the higher power, like fearsome. Like yes, the impact is nice, but I also think that you get a lot more value out of the Ironhound. Like Risu itself, like is not providing much. Is easier to deal with versus the Ironhound. At least brings a little bit more to the board itself.
there is the downside of having to kill your own unit to bring it out, right? And also just use one turn earlier. But I do kind of like like you said, the body that comes with it. The 5/3 can be pretty impactful. Otherwise, yeah, seems kind of standard. You've got your glares, hate spikes, no ruination.
I think that's actually like I think that's probably a little bit of a mistake, just with all the big overwhelm things going around. I'd much rather have the make my opponent wonder about the big kill switch, but we'll just have to see how it goes.
Yeah. Who do you think's gonna win?
Just looking at decks, I gotta take some powder monkeys. Bang bang.
What, you don't like thralls? I'm a thrall enjoyer.
Yeah, thralls were good like 3 years ago. Quit trying to make thralls happen. Thralls is never gonna happen.
Well, thralls happened, and they're gonna happen again. We're just entering the thrall meta.
Yep, we're in the thrall. No, I regret that one. I don't. And I'm sorry. This is important. Come here, boy.
Oh, doggo, hello.
Hello, buddy. He's a little concerned. It was also making a mess.
And there he goes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I gotta give it to Swain's Flock. I like their deck choices.
I think the Thralls is gonna let him down. Oh, dog, stop it.
Oh, onto the ban screen.
I'm being assaulted.
I mean, what do we even like?
Homie, I don't know.
What's different than what we've seen today?
Look, I'm just gonna ban the Kindred deck, and since I've got a bunch of board-based boys, and I'm gonna beat Thralls twice.
Yeah, I mean, I think because I have Thralls, I think I have to ban Raven Rumble because it's just kind of scary, right?
They're just gonna run you over.
Yeah, it's just a bit too fast. Although I'm pretty sure Sivir Akshan can also be annoying, but I think I'm willing to like take that risk, right?
Yeah, I mean they're slower. They don't have as much overwhelm. Build your own Ruin Runner is going to take some time to get on the lane.
Yeah, but I guess with that logic, the Jarvan and the Morgana Udyr deck could also be a bit annoying.
I'm just going to tell you, I think it's doomed. You just coin flip and you pick which one you think is worst.
Agreed.
I think that Draven Rumble is more likely to just run away, though.
Even though Lysandra Trindle is like obviously the best deck in the game, I think we leave it up and just lose to it and then go from there.
All right, brilliant strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for him.
I mean, the funniest thing would be if we saw the Thralls versus the Lilia deck, and the Spritelings just got bigger than the Thralls.
That, you know what? That's what I'm hoping for. The game. I don't care if my prediction is wrong if we see big Spritelings.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. We see the Morgana, Udyr, Jarvan deck banned, and we see the Spriteling decks banned. They knew. They
were listening in. Why'd you have to give away the tech, man? Come on.
I shouldn't have said it.
You did this.
What do we got here? We got Kindred more Nora versus the Draven Rumble deck, and we see Draven and Rumble in hand already. But we we see Aloof on the other side, and Rumble is the highest cost card in hand at the moment.
Let's see who has turn. Let's see. Rumble has token on 4 though, so Rumble can come out before the Aloof.
Oh, that's true. Rumble is safe if they choose to play it right away.
I think it's got to go.
I mean,
Rumble. If you have the Rumble, you play the Rumble. That's just the rules.
Yeah,
I don't
and
make it. I'm just here.
so if we're playing Rumble, we're gonna discard Axe, Spear, and probably a Conch.
Or we could discard Gloom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and because Conch can just find another one, right? So
Yeah, I mean, Conch could be anything. He could be Gloom.
better discard. We found a Grenadier.
Oh yeah, that. Well, what if we just discard?
Yikes. Can we get rid of this Rumble? We could get rid of Rumble if we went for the Blunder plus Death's Grasp, but instead we go for the Aloof, which is fine too. I mean, Rumble's not. He can still be chump blocked at the moment.
God, imagine. It would have been very funny if it would have hit like the survival instincts.
Yeah. Good old Aloof helping the opponent.
Aloof, your friend, and so it's not.
Going for the hate spike on the Aloof to deny the damage from Rumble to progress its level up.
Oh, and the mic getting discarded.
Okay, this Aloof is kind of crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I think there will be a setup for.
And I like the glare here just to get rid of this Aloof to stop.
The game said another mic.
Back.
I imagine that spell shield's going to get stripped off.
And we found
probably
to do
just with the Gloom, like honestly, to save the burst speed, like interaction or the gem speed.
What do we find from Roar of the Slayer would actually kill Nora if we go for it, which is kind of. But the Telstones is obviously the better choice.
Yeah. I mean,
Funny choice. You just take the scrap heap here for more discard. Yeah.
More value, good discard. Yeah, and that's so. It's gonna be vengeance. Now, what could happen? I can imagine. I could see a scenario like where Remnant gets greedy and tries to use the Death's Grasp instead. Gets punished by the strike spell.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I imagine it'll just be vengeance.
Yeah, I mean, why take a gamble? Just straight up remove it.
Yep. And I don't think we'll see anything. I wonder if you try to save any of these units.
Yeah, I was wondering if Nora needed to go in. But I guess I also don't mind taking as little damage as you can, evening out the board because, the longer it goes on, you have Mord in hand. So you're just kind of trying to survive till you can get Mord down with the board, right?
Yeah, and if Rumble's dead, your opponent has already lost a Rumble and a Draven.
Yep.
Salty Spinner's pretty good. So here, I think the plan for the next turn for Remni is going to be Severed onto, draw, the 2-mana draw, Ceaseless Entry. But never mind.
They do Iron Hound, so maybe they're going to go for that instead.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, I would have liked to have seen that this turn, like getting that, playing Legion and Severed this turn, get it out of the way. Maybe just trying to save some interaction.
Going for the Severed onto the Iron Hound, passing here. I'm assuming we're going to see a pass back. Yep. Spinner rolls into a 2/5. Yeah, Yeah. Ooh, trumpet.
That is spooky.
Yeah. Yeah. Big board. But honestly, Mordekaiser is kind of spookier. But we go for the Iron Hound instead. I like this better than straight up playing Mord because you'd rather Mord the Iron Hound. Yep, going for the block there. Block to 5-3. Yeah, I like this.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
and they, I think you just push a bit of extra damage with the might here, right? Yeah.
I was almost wondering if you like trade that on your salty spinner, because
Oh, to take out. Yeah. I mean, putting them down to 1 is also like really tempting.
I mean, I think you have to. You have to take risks, right? Like you're already in a losing position.
I'm guessing we're just going to see more to come down here.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna see more more Iron Hounds. I am not done with you.
Oh, not going for the Iron Hound, just going for the... I forgot what the other thing is called, but yeah.
Yeah, I never know the name of the.
I mean,
the secondary
worm thingy.
Yeah. Ghost horses.
Why? Not going for the Iron Hound. Oh, okay. There you go.
That makes sense.
Look at that combo.
Boogie. Yeah, I mean, this game is...
Yeah.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, and level 2. Yeah, that's... You know, I've never noticed how nice leveled Mordekaiser's stat line is.
It's nice.
Yep. Oh, and the surrender. No swing needed. We know where this is going.
Unfortunate. That's game 1, and now we get to see the best deck in the game. Thralls come out and dominate.
Yep. It's going to be so dominating that Remny's going to surrender to save Bruno from the suffering.
If he is a merciful player, then yes. Let's see.
Oh gosh, I will say, thinking back to just like OG, like Thrall, like when Thralls finally became like the meta, that was a brutal deck to play against.
Yeah, when Thralls gets like a good hand, it's the most annoying thing ever.
Yeah, it goes fast.
Yeah, because usually you can deal with like 1, maybe 2, but then they start doing like, oh, you dealt with 2, here's another 3. Like, oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh gosh, and Maiden, old Maiden, just being like, hey, great, you got rid of 2 Watchers, but here's a 3rd one.
Yep. And I see 3 Thralls on board, counting down already.
But I see an Akshan who's about to get a glaive.
Who wins?
I don't know. This is like, I don't think there's a much better hand that I could think of for Akshan here.
He's got glaive with Cataclysm and like another Akshan in hand, right? Like,
yeah, it's
and a single combat.
Yeah, it's just gonna get gross. I mean, he's gonna level so fast.
And this Inquisitor can't even stick because of all the interaction.
I mean, and he can even do it. He can do it single-sided. Like, I mean, there's no like. Now, if you're picking, I think I take the 1/1.
Yeah, I like the 1/1 as well. Yep, there you go. Go for the 1/1.
Yeah, just keep it a little bit safer.
I think you just send the grappling hook in.
I kind of like, yeah, since you've already used like the spell, then you can just you can always just like drag attack like the Inquisitor if he comes down.
Yeah.
There's not-
And you know they're on 2 cards in hand. Resources are low. You know exactly what's in their deck too, and this
Mhm.
is just building up this auction to be the most bigger than a thrall, the most annoying thing.
Mhm.
Getting the right as well, just to secure the lead.
Oh yeah. Spell
Oh,
shield,
and a spell shield.
easy choice. I mean, because now the quicksand doesn't do anything either. Like it's the gameplay here is I would say enthralling.
I'd say it's very lucky. These fine.
Yes. Oh yeah. I mean, I guess you could do that. I mean, you've got like
Yeah.
you've got the strike spell. Like
Honestly, I would just let this thrall pop. Okay. I mean, do I care? A little bit.
yeah, it's just. I mean, getting like, oh my gosh, an auction, getting this Warlord's Horde is gonna. I mean, it can pop next turn,
Yeah.
if it wants it to. Like overwhelm. Let's go. Only good keywords.
Like that's one of the most. I don't know. I find it fun, is when you have Glaive and you're just building up your own guy. Once you have spell shield, you just look for stats. You just look for raw stats. Grab overwhelm when you can. It's so annoying to deal with. Like, and there's the quicksand. Quicksand won't even do anything.
No, I mean, sure there will be a thrall next turn, but the concerted strike in hand says there won't be a thrall for long.
Yep.
Even if you take Sky Splitter, but you're probably taking Trundle.
Yeah, either Trundle or the second quicksand, just to save it for the next turn that they do a big swing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just go for these blocks here. Okay, they're using the quicksand now just to pop the spell shields because they have floating.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, now Ziffer's leveled, which is dangerous. I mean, I think you just see if you can put spell shield back on her.
Yeah, I think
Although Warlord's Horde will do that for you.
yeah, Horde will just give them spell shield again. You just look to give Sivir overwhelm, so all your guys get overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, going for auction instead. Give it tough.
Oh yeah, and just get your spell shield right now.
Yeah. This one goes on to. Yep. Yeah, give it. I guess Fears. Yeah, Fearsom's probably better here.
I mean, just reduce the number of like potential blockers.
Yep. When this Thrall comes out, you still have Concerted or Cataclysm to deal with it.
That's kind of funny and messed up.
Just a little.
I was almost wondering if you like. Oh yeah, that's a GG. Thrall's just wanting to try and make the games interesting for us.
Yeah, they just got unlucky.
Now, I will say, if Draven Rumble has a Draven Stumble, Thralls could get big enough that there's just no getting through. Like, Rumble plus Might is 8, but I mean, you've got Quicksand, you've got some options in the deck to deal with a singular threat.
Yeah. That's the thing. Without time in a bottle, you can't really get these Thralls out too quickly, and a lot of your countdown cards are from units.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and there's the Rumble.
There's everything.
I imagine you take Blunder.
Yeah.
You have to be able to hold up double Blunder.
Pass here, take 3 damage. The Three Sisters is nice as well to have backup.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing is that the mana won't line up on turn 4.
Yeah.
To be able to blunder, freeze. Although that won't really matter. You'll just have the freeze for the next attack turn.
You see there, the results from the other match. Easy to win. 2 O's. Also me. Powder Monkeys are up 1 game. 1 match. 1 set. Is that what it is? Something like
One game set match. So
Yep, game set.
1 set.
Sandra coming up here. Generating a thrall. Also just being
also, I mean,
longer.
in another spell, like being able to like have another answer for the rumble is nice. I mean, you can just keep this rumble like in stasis forever, pretty much.
Yep. Yeah, and I like the open attack here. It's like Graven's your only unit. Are you gonna block with him or not? So it's essentially free damage. Here comes the rumble.
So much value. You gotta love when your discarded cards just become better cards.
Yeah, I hear that's a good thing.
Interesting.
Oh, the Chicas 2-0ing Regan. So it's 1-1 right now. This is the game deciding. That
is Thrall's good enough?
upping his shield. Yep.
Here's my question. We're gonna see either the freeze or like likely a freeze or the entomb coming out here. If you're Bruno, like, what are you structuring? Are you just going as wide aggro as you can, saying, "Hey, I know that you're going to have to deal with my rumble"? I think that does change the calculus a little bit now that that's come out. So I imagine it'll be the freeze.
Yeah, it's freeze we're gonna have to do, right? Also, plus committing an axe just to remove Delisandra is probably the play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, taking threes, I think I'm fine with that too.
Yeah, I mean,
okay, saving the freeze. I also don't mind as well because Rumble's not leveled. But once Rumble levels, Spell Shield comes back, so you're gonna have to stop that before then.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to have double. What a spell! Double interaction prep. So you've got the blunder, so you can take away the impact, take away the quick attack. And there you go. You've got Thrall countdown coming.
Yeah.
But I think you take the
Spell Shield.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, I imagine the blunder gets committed this turn.
Blundering onto the Rumble?
Yeah. I think you just blunder the Rumble so that you can trade or not. I mean, because you can just throw your Thrall in front of it.
Yeah. They do have Might and Whirling, though.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have two
freeze and freeze and entomb. So I guess the you discard an axe. Like there are things that can happen here.
Yeah.
Oh, but they do have also the spell shield from Geomancer. Totally forgot about that.
Yeah, so they have to use Three Sisters plus Entomb if they want to deal with this Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. They committed just the Might.
Oh, but now they can't deal with Rumble.
Uh-oh.
Oh, this is... I mean, now he's dead. That's game. That just... I mean, with the Might, that just ends... Wow. What... I mean, that's what Rumble does sometimes. Just... I mean...
Yeah. Guess so.
I mean, I think really, like, is there any way that Freeze and Tomb gets punished? When you lose a unit or unit, but you stay alive.
Oh, actually, Freeze and Tomb would get punished by Whirling Death because it would level up the Rumble, right?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So you had to just accept the thrall dying.
Yeah, I mean, getting that the spell shield off of the created unit really turned things around. Yeah, because Blunder wouldn't have even done anything. I mean, it would have taken away quick attack and an impact, but that only saves you 2 health. What a game! And I don't want to say anything, but I think I have a
You don't-
perfect prediction record. I wouldn't say I wouldn't want to say anything though.
Nope, you don't want to say anything. Technically, I also have a perfect prediction record the other way.
Perfectly balanced as all things should be.
Anyways, looks like Misfortune's Powder Monkeys takes it down over Swain's Flock. And like we were saying at the beginning of this set, they really needed this win to kind of secure their lead over Maokai Saplings. So I believe, I'm not 100% sure, that regardless if Saplings won this last round, they may still be last. But we'll have to see once all the results are submitted how the standings line up. The other thing I'm really interested to see is how Group 2 ended up, since they were all really close together.
Yeah, neck and neck. That was a very tight group. Very curious how all that panned out. But great games tonight. Had some we'll say interesting plays, but a lot of tight lines. People had to find. What was your favorite deck you saw tonight other than Thralls?
What do you mean other than Thralls? Thralls was obviously the best deck I saw. Other than that, let's see, what else was there that we saw? I want to say, oh, we didn't get to see FTR, right? It got banned.
No, I got banned.
I was just baited by production.
No, I really enjoyed getting to see the Lee Sin Victor. A little bit different. We've seen a lot of Akshan Lee. But getting to see kind of an old deck, people doing something a little different.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you there. Even though I do not like Lee Sin too much, I did enjoy seeing Lee Sin Victor, especially with the Victor getting some of the perfect keywords.
Yeah.
It was nice. Yeah.
Are the cards?
Yep.
I know that you didn't enjoy the Lee Sin deck, but I did enjoy kicking it with you. So
same here. Had a great time with you, Schwartz, and I guess also thanks Aegis for having us and for running this as usual. The community appreciates it. Sure, the teams appreciate it too. Looking forward to monthly tournaments to do, continuing the league, the casting, the streams. It's amazing. And yes, I guess special shout out to Hirsch, who is sitting in production, doing stuff, I suppose. Nobody knows if he's really working. I don't know. Is there any proof?
Yeah. Poor guy. No, really appreciative to Aegis for putting everything on and making this easy, and for inviting us on. Always enjoy having a captive audience who has to listen to my ramblings. Hope to be back. Really excited to see how playoffs go. I think we've got some really strong teams and some spicy takes on decks. Maybe we'll see a new a playoff meta. Maybe somebody's got the stuff in their pocket we don't know about.
Yeah, it would be very interesting to see. And I believe I heard rotation is coming sometime soon. So it's interesting to see if that ends up being before playoffs or in the middle of it. It's definitely
it would not be good for the players, but it would be so interesting for a rotation to happen like midweek. Be like, all right, test time Wednesday. What can you make in 2 days?
I mean, all the world's players loved it. Wasn't it great?
I'm sure it won't be stressful at all. Awesome.
Yeah. I guess that wraps it up for tonight. Any last shoutouts or words?
No. thanks everyone for watching. Appreciate you coming out and watching the games, and of course, thanks to the players for putting on a great show.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you, chat. You guys are the best. Thanks for watching. Bye.